Second down 10. Steelers have the ball at their own 37-yard line, just underway. A capacity crowd upwards of 50,000 here at RFK Stadium, and this place gets loud and rocking during the regular season. No reason to believe tonight will be any different. Lips wide left, Derek Hill to the right. On a delay, this is Merrill Hodge for about 4, maybe 5, as he crosses the 40 to about the 41-yard line in the grasp of the All-Pro Wilbur Marshall, number 58, now in his 7th year out of Florida.
The Redskins have had a lot of trouble stopping the run. One guy they desperately missing there is Darryl Grant. Got a couple guys that are injured, but Darryl Grant is a holdout right now. Contract dispute with the Redskins, and I think his stock has gone up with the injuries to their defensive line.
It's a heck of a way to do it. You have to have the good graces of the injury bugaboo there to enhance your value to a team. Third down, 6 Steelers in the shotgun. Brister some time over the middle. It is juggled and incomplete. Rodney Carter juggled the ball 2 or 3 times. Charles Mann knocked Brister for a loop after he released the ball, but he put it right on the money, and Rodney could not hold on.
Well, I talked to Dick Hoke last week. He thought Rodney Carter should have had the touchdown pass in the end zone. This time, Brister puts it right down that seam, in between the linebackers, that seam area. Carter breaks loose. He doesn't drop them very often, but he dropped 2 now in the last 2 weeks.
Dan Straczynski, his first punt of the night at his 25, punting to Walter Stanley, the Plan B free agent from Detroit. Good high punt, excellent hang time. Fair catch at the 24, and Stanley has it, and the Redskins will go on offense for the first time tonight. So from a semi-darkened RFK Stadium because of a light problem, we have a timeout on the field. The game scoreless early first quarter. A punt of 35 yards, no return by Straczynski as you look at our beloved Washington Monument here in Washington, D.C., our nation's capital. Good to have you aboard on our Steeler television network. Redskins have the ball for the first time tonight, and Mark Rippon will be their starting quarterback, number 11, and they'll start with the trip receivers. No, they'll just start with 2 of them. Clark, 84, Sanders, 83. And the H-back in motion is Wiesenhunt. To give straight ahead on the carry is Gerald Riggs, number 37. And he's stopped by the nose tackle, Gerald Williams of the Steelers. We had been told they would start with their 3 receivers. Another bank of lights has just gone out. So we've got a serious problem. And Jerry Markwright, the referee, has now called timeout, and they're starting to lose the other banks of lights here at RFK. So we do have an electrical problem here at the stadium. And it was obvious from the onset when 2 banks never went on during practice or the start of this game. And now Markwright...
We're going to have to wait till the lights come on to continue playing. We'll have to wait till the lights come back on.
So you've heard all you need to hear about that. I don't know how long we're going to be in this delay, but they are obviously having some difficulty. This is the first time, Jack, this season that obviously the stadium has been used. They played on a neutral field in North Carolina against the Atlanta Falcons last week, so the Redskins come home to some technical problems.
Well, with the 2 banks of lights out, that was in the end zone. They could have had a chance to continue play, but right now with the other banks going out as well, I mean, we're almost in total darkness here.
So there's a timeout on the field. We have a technical problem here at RFK Stadium. We don't have any lights. We'll return, hopefully, with the problem resolved in just a moment. Back here in Washington, D.C., we have some technical problems. You're looking out the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts. They don't appear to have any technical difficulty over there. Lights flickering there in the parking lots. We noticed immediately when the teams came on the field and they turned those lights on. I had remarked to Jack that there are 2 banks that weren't on, and we had been informed by some people in the stadium here that don't worry about it, they'll be on shortly. Well, obviously they haven't come on, and they had to turn off 2 other banks of lights to try to resolve the problem once and for all. Ever have a situation like this in your life, Hammer?
No, not lights. We had a game called the College All-Star game in Chicago in the midway in the 3rd quarter. We had such a bad electrical storm that they finally called it midway in the 3rd quarter, and probably was the easiest money I made. Only played about 4 or 5 plays and got out of there. So this has never happened.
This may be easier money for you tonight. You may get about 3 minutes of playing time so far. Well, the Steelers, tried to throw the ball the first time out pretty much as you had anticipated, then ran the ball effectively, got the first down, and finally had to punt it away. Does it tell you anything about a game plan from the first offensive series, what they want to accomplish?
Well, I think so. I think they're coming in this game, realize they want to get that passing game cranked up. We're going to get the, looks like Mike get the lights back on here right now. We're going to play. So, but all righty. I just think to play to Rodney Carter, they would still have this drive playing right now had not Carter dropped that football down that seam route.
So the Redskins now will begin from their own 28-yard line, their first possession of the night, and they have the problem resolved for the time being. There's still one bank out on the left this time. Rippon has it tipped and almost caught and then dropped. His intended receiver was Ricky Sanders. Somebody got a hand on that football. Let us reset the Redskins offense because we've had a little bit of a delay here. You're looking at Mark Rippon. Boy, did he finish strongly in a 3-receiver passing front for the Redskins in the last 5 games. They won all 5. Missed the playoffs with a record of 10-6. A great back in Ernest Biner who catches the ball out of the backfield very well. Steeler fans remember him when he played with Cleveland. That big offensive line, former Pitt star Russ Grimm. Jim Lachey is a huge man. Ed Simmons on the other side weighs over 300. So they've got, and Joe Jacoby's out of the lineup with injury. Mark May's injured. They've always had good offensive lines here with the Skins, of course. 2nd and 10. Rippon caught at the 40-yard line. Kelvin Bryant. Gerald Williams was chasing him down. Number 57. The young linebacker who the Steelers just have great promise for. They think he's going to be a tremendous football player. At that time, Kelvin Bryant got ahead of him, caught the pass out of bounds, and good enough for the first, caught it and ran out of bounds, got the first down.
With a 3 wide receiver offense, you have so many weapons out of the backfield. You get the one-on-one coverage with Kelvin Bryant coming across the middle, and a linebacker cannot cover him at all. When he gets inside like that, he has great speed.
We're back live. Wiesenhunt is the H-back. Leads Gerald Riggs around the outside. He is collared and thrown down. Excellent defensive play by Darrell Holmes. One of only 3 Plan B free agents on the Steelers, playing free safety tonight again in place of the injured Thomas Everett. As you look at the Steelers down linemen, Willis, Gerald Williams, and with Tim Johnson a holdout, Donald Evans making a name for himself. Veteran linebacking core. We've got a flag down here being discussed as you look at the linebackers. And instead of David Johnson, Delton Hall has started at left cornerback. And you saw Holmes make the play there. This walk-off is against the Redskins. It was for holding. It'll be 1st down and 20 as they step the ball back off to the 30-yard line.
Joe Gibbs would like to get his offense back to the days of John Riggins when they like to run the football. They have 3 games at the end of the season in cold weather areas. He feels he's got to get that running game going. He's got enough weapons offensively to throw the football, but he'd like to run the football more consistently. Sanders wide to the right and Gary Clark to the left. One setback and a flag is down again. Rippon looking to Clark, overthrew him. And excellent coverage by Rod Woodson. And Jack talked so much in Montreal the other night about Woodson's great closing speed. He was 5 yards off the receiver when Rippon delivered the football, and when the ball got to the receiver, Woodson was right there. Well, he's a lot like Gerald Green in the sense he almost baits quarterbacks sometimes. Let the receiver get a little bit ahead of him and get that separation, and all of a sudden come on top of it.
Number 83 offense. Penalty decline. 2nd down.
So the Steelers take the play. It'll be 2nd down and 20 now. The Redskins operating from their own 30-yard line. Those are the stats from Rippon last week against Atlanta. But this young man was the 3rd leading passer in the National Football Conference last season, behind Joe Montana of the Niners and the Rams' Jim Everett. He can throw the football. Over the middle, tipped and almost intercepted. 4 Steelers around the ball. Holmes appeared to have the best shot at it. Hardy Nickerson got a hand on it, and it fell harmlessly to the ground. One thing when you're playing zone defense in that secondary, you've got to react to the football, get people to the football. Don Warren, first of all, Rippon had a lot of time, could not find anyone open, and a good job just underneath cover when you're playing on a receiver. Get underneath the man, make the ball come over the top of you, and Hardy Nickerson deflects the ball away. Good coverage on the tight end Warren. 3rd down and 20 now. The Skins go to their still the 2 receiving offense. They've got the H-back and the 1 setback. Bryant out of the backfield. Rippon in the seam, caught shy of the 1st down. Darrell Holmes with the coverage on the receiver Gary Clark, but that'll be short of a 1st down. It'll be 4th down and about 3 now for the Skins, who elect to punt it away. Even though it's a reception for a gain up the field,
They stopped the play, Clark, before he could get the first down. They realized where he was. He caught the football, could not make any run after the catch. Good closing by Holmes to make the tackle in open field.
Ralph Mosienko back to do the punting, the former Michigan Stater at his 34-yard line. Kicking to Chris Callaway, the former Michigan star. Low, Callaway juggles it, flag is down. As he crosses the 25 in a heap, he goes down in the neighborhood of the 27-yard line, but there's at least one, maybe two penalty markers
led
down.
by Greg Minuski, flag down.
28 yards on the punt and 3 on the return. Minuski is the man who made the stop, but I believe the penalty will be against the Steelers. And if so, the Redskins will have it walked off.
Holding number 20, receiving team while the kick was in the air. Penalty from the possession spot. First down, timeout.
So the 10-yard walk-off moves the Steelers inside their own 10-yard line. We are scoreless. The first quarter from RFK Stadium in Washington. We'll be back in a moment. With Jack Ham, Sam Nover back at RFK Stadium. Lest you be concerned about it, there's still one bank of lights that are still out. They are at the opposite end of the field that they're currently playing. Now they're at behind the end zone the Redskins are defending. So when they get down there, they got some problems. By the way, at the conclusion of tonight's game, Jack and I will be selecting the Iron City Beer Iron Man of the game. Here's Hodge on a sweep. He's got 5, 6, maybe 7 as he stretches out near the 17-yard line. So Merrill Hodge running very strongly and getting to the outside with that added quickness. Stopped there by Todd Bowles and Darrell Green, but a 7-yard gain on first down.
And an outstanding block by Warren Williams on the corner, and that enabled Hodge to get to the outside. Williams took down Wilbur Marshall. Once he gets turned upfield, he gets his shoulder pads down. Merrill Hodge going to make somebody pay and got some good yardage on first down.
Second down and 3 at the 17. Steelers came out trying to throw the football. Missed an opportunity when Rodney Carter dropped the pass right in his lap that would have gone for big yardage. Had to punt it away. Now their second possession of the night on a delay. Williams for a yard maybe, dragged down very nicely by Marcus Cook, the 5-year veteran out of Boise State. And had he escaped the grasp of Cook, he would have had the first down. But as it is, 3rd down and 2, the Steelers in a scoreless game. The clock now moving toward the 8-minute mark here in the first quarter.
Well, this is when teams started to watch films of each other, and Pittsburgh ran that play so many times last week up in Montreal against the Patriots. I think they were prepared for it. A lot of times defensive linemen will take themselves out of the play by rushing up the field. That time Cook reacted back inside and brought Williams down.
Steelers now feel that the offensive line is one of their strengths with the emergence of John Jackson and John Reamstra. Dermontti Dawson coming on strong. Terry Long, the reliable veteran, and the Pro Bowler Tunch Ilkin. Thus far, however, they have not dominated that Redskin front. 3rd and 3. Brisker flings it downfield. It's incomplete, and he had pressure. Bubby again on the seat of his pants. In his face, number 91, Greg Minuski. The middle linebacker came on a blitz, and he forced the pass to be hurried.
Well, first of all, with Minuski, you see the little sprint out to the right, looking downfield, trying to get the ball to Carter, just threw the ball off his back foot, did not release the football coming forward. Also, Carter was covered downfield as well.
Now Straczynski, who doesn't blast the ball out of there, but has good hang time, asked to punt one out from inside his 10-yard line to Walter Stanley. Good snap. Great punt this time, an excellent hang time. Stanley did not call for the fair catch. It may be a loose football. Steelers are on it. Let's see who they give it to. There will be a discussion or not.
I think this may have to be Redskin football. I don't think he gave him opportunity enough to catch the ball.
Well, that's the question.
There's no flag down. There is no flag down on the ground right now, but the ball is at the 35-yard line. I think they're saying it is Redskin football.
47 yards on the punt by Straczynski, who hit a beautiful one. Great hang time. It allowed the coverage to get down there. And the Redskins obviously feel it's their football. The Steelers contesting that decision.
It may even have hit a Pittsburgh player first downfield.
Dwight Stone was the man downfield, and Jack, if that is the case, it hit Stone.
Stone is the wide guy on the punt team. He is the guy releasing downfield to trying to get down there and make things happen.
We have interference with the opportunity to make a catch 15 yards from the spot of the foul. First down, timeout.
Well, it's obviously preseason for the officials as well. Nobody threw a flag, but a good call.
It's a good call, but also when he reviewed the film, Chuck Noll is going to say that Stone did a great job of going downfield. The only thing he's got to locate the football was such a rocket downfield, and he did not locate the ball and the receiver and got down there, in fact, too quick, and that's what caused the interference.
Well, that certainly negates the great punt by Straczynski because it now gives the Redskins excellent field position right on the 50-yard line. Craig Beasley on the field for the first time as a Pittsburgh Steeler. The youngster who was a contract holdout, their second choice in the 3rd round, and reported this week as getting some immediate action. Jack, let's look at the play once again. Well, now Mark Wright explaining to Chuck Noll.
Well, one guy that knows all the rules is Chuck Noll. You don't have to explain too many rules to Chuck. But even though Stanley did not call for the fair catch, he still has the right to be able to catch the football. Stone got in there too close to him. You see Stone coming, trying to hold up right now. In fact, the ball hits Stone right like in the back of the shoulder pads. You've got to give him an opportunity to catch the ball, and Stone just lost sight of the football coming downfield.
Well, both the Steeler rookie defensive linemen are on the field right now. Craig Beasley wears number 91. And Kenny Davidson, their 2nd-round draft choice out of LSU, wearing number 64. Both seen their first action as a Steeler.
You know, it wasn't exactly a smart play by Stanley. You see Stone right in your face and didn't even call for a fair catch. So it wasn't a good play by anybody on that punt team.
Good break for the Redskins. Rippon gives it to Gerald Riggs. Not much there. Brian Hinkle at the bottom along with Hardy Nickerson. Gain of a yard, maybe 2 on the carry. It'll be 2nd down for the Skins, who are having difficulty running the football. There's no secret to that, Jack. Everybody knows they throw the ball tremendously well, particularly with a 3-wide receiving set. But running the ball is another story.
Well, when you get in that personality, there used to be that rugged offense. You just love to grind it out and run the football. A lot of play-action pass with Joe Theismann. That's no longer the case. They're a lot like the old San Diego Chargers. You get away from that running game, it's hard to get back to it, especially with your offensive lineman.
Wisenhunt is the H-back. He's the man in motion, number 82. Riggs looking for a hole. There's nothing there. Steelers playing the run tough again. David Little moving from his inside linebacking spot to make the stop along with Kenny Davidson, 64. But it was Little who got there first, a gain of maybe a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 7 now for the Redskins at the Steeler 48-yard line. Let's call it the 47.
And Riggs has a tough time running to his left. Most of the big yards and big gains he has made for the Redskins, and also down in Atlanta, he's running out of I formation to his right side.
Thought you made a great point before we got on the air tonight. In December, when the Redskins need it and they can't throw the ball effectively, the last 3 games of the year, they better have a running game. Trying to make the playoffs when the heat is on. 3rd and 7. That's Sanders coming at you. Ripping short drop over the middle behind Sanders. Ricky was the intended receiver. Behind him was Darrell Holmes. But the ball was dropped, and so it's 4th down for the 2nd time tonight. Mozienko is on the field. And Ralph will be punting downfield to Chris Callaway for the 2nd time.
A lot of sloppy play here in the 2nd preseason game. David Johnson was on the coverage, kind of break underneath and try to go with Sanders. He got locked up with another receiver, could not get off of him and come and make the play. But fortunately for Pittsburgh, Sanders dropped the football.
Left-footed punter. Mozienko hangs one in the air. Callaway's going to try to return it from the 12. And he gets it back to the 19. Not a bad return because the Skins had good coverage. A 7-yard return of that punt. 36 on Mozienko's punt. The Steelers' 3rd possession of the day. 5:52 to go in a scoreless 1st quarter. Back here at RFK Stadium, a reminder at halftime of tonight's game, John Fetko will have the halftime update featuring this week's Steelers song. Also at halftime, you know that Bo knows baseball and football, but John Fetko will ask the question, does Bubby know baseball? Before Bubby donned the black and gold of the Steelers, he gave up a minor league baseball career. And one of his minor league managers was none other than Pirate skipper Jimmy Leland. And they'll explore that at halftime. So stay with us for that. Warren Williams breaks into the clear at the 25 to the 27, maybe the 28-yard line. Kind of a sprint draw, Jack. And Williams picking up 8 quick yards.
Warren Williams continues to impress me. He just makes the intelligent cut when he has to. He knows to make the right decision at full speed. You'll see him at the end of this play. It's outside. He goes to the outside. All of a sudden, he just breaks and slips a player inside, makes that cut off his left leg, and gets 5 or 6 additional yards. Solid football player, hard runner, and an excellent receiver out of the backfield.
See where they spot the ball at the 28-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 1 for the Steelers. Make it a long one. Here's Williams again. 1st down and more. Spinning across the 35. Excellent second effort. Warren Williams making people ask the question, Tim who? No, they're not doing that at all.
Well, I'll tell you,
Tim Worley's going to run well for this ball club, but Warren Williams doing a great job in his place.
One guy's going to be concerned is Joe Gibbs on the other side of the field, because I'll tell you, he's got to have a lot of high-powered offensive weapons, but if he cannot get him on the field, if their team cannot stop the running game, talked about Darryl Grant being out because of a holdout, also Dexter Manley on the suspension for drugs last year. He can be reinstated possibly in November. They need some help defensively as well.
From the Steeler 36, the Steelers with yet another 1st down, but no points on the board. The blitz. Number 74, Marcus Cook, came in untouched on Brister's blind side. Might have been a breakdown with John Jackson on that blocking assignment.
Well, we talked in the opening about the different fronts that the Redskins are going to show you. An over and under a stack off and bring people off the corner. This time it's a miscommunication in the offensive line, and Cook just comes free. And Bubby, starting to be a lot smarter quarterback back there. Realize he's on the backside, he's going to get it pounded, so he just goes down to the ground.
And he can't be terribly happy about that, because that is his blind side. He doesn't see that
last
normally.
Week the Patriots has played a pattern safe defense the entire football game. Not many adjustments. We'll see a lot of different wrinkles from the Redskins.
Loss is 7, 2nd down 17. Brister again's got somebody in his face. He's got that escapability, throws it downfield. It's caught by Terry O'Shea at the 30-yard line. And he's batted out of bounds there by Alvin Walton. And Andre Collins were both there for the coverage. I think Walton made the contact. Kent Wells, the defensive lineman, was right in Bubby's face, and that offensive line having problem now with the games you're talking about.
All of a sudden they're getting some pressure. Just straight drop back. He's trying to look downfield. It's covered initially. Now he's running for his life. And Bubby's got this great scrambling ability to get out of the pocket and make big plays. And gets it out to the outside, but he's getting pressure from a banged-up defensive line of the Redskins.
Gain of only 3 yards. 3rd down and 14, the Steelers now in the shotgun formation. Brister flips it over the middle. Good catch by Malarkey, but he'll be shy of a 1st down. He tried to crawl for the extra yard or two up around the 45-yard line. Alvin Walton again with the coverage. Malarkey with the great hands.
Well, another straight drop. This time pretty good protection for Brister. And Malarkey does a good adjustment on the football. He's running across the field, makes the adjustment back to the ball, catches with his hands, and came up a yard short.
Joe Howard in the deep receiving spot, single safety back at his own 15, the former Notre Damer. As you look at Malarkey on the sideline, led all Steeler receivers with 4 catches in the win over New England. Straczynski, short, but takes a good bounce. Howard picks it up, trying to move out at the 15-yard line, and is stopped there. Downfield is Jerry Olszewski as a penalty marker goes down. Jack, what do you think about Straczynski?
Illegal man downfield on the kick. Number 90, offense. 4th down.
In what you've seen so far?
I think he's done a solid job. All you care about is net punting yards. And you don't care how long you punt a football, but the team runs it back 20, 25 yards. That's not going to do you any good. He's getting it up there. Good hang time. No punt returns. Let the coverage come down and make plays like Stone and whatever. And so far in the 2 preseason games, I think he's done a good job.
Dan has never punted in a regular National Football League game. He was cut by Indianapolis and Cleveland, and really won the job here before they even went to training camp. Long ago when they lost Harry Newsom as a Plan B free agent, and Straczynski was virtually the only guy they considered. Dan, another good high punt. Hang time for Howard at the 25. He's going to run this one to about the 34-yard line. Stopped a little shy. David Little downfield, number 50, and combining there with A.J. Jenkins, a 35-yard punt. This time they let Howard get away for an 8-yard return, so the net is not particularly good. Only 28 yards, and again the Skins start in good field position. They spot the ball right at the 33-yard line. 2:37 to go, a scoreless 1st quarter from RFK. And all the lights are finally on, I am happy to report. Mark Rippon, the quarterback, and again Wiesenhunt is the H-back. They get a hand on him. Rippon gets away. Evans finally collars him up around the 40-yard line. Keith Willis also in pursuit, but Rippon showing some escapability himself, picking up a couple of yards.
Keith Willis was coming up the field. He almost kind of ran into Rippon because he's rolling out. He takes the outside pass rush. They cannot get to him. His speed up the field. See the offensive lineman Bostic is trying to block Wills, cannot do it. Almost in the grass. The official, Mark Wright, does not call it, and Ripon gets a few yards on the scramble.
7 to be exact. 2nd down and 3. Did better than I thought he had.
This guy is a good athlete. He played in the golf tournament last year for professional athletes, and he won $75,000 to scratch player.
We're all envious of that. Oh, you practice.
I wasn't even invited.
2nd and 3. A quick out pattern to Sanders for the first down, and he gets away. 35. Gets away from Holmes, who finally turns him down at the 25-yard line. What a move he put on Delton Hall.
Well, the Redskins are notorious for that quick hitch. I think it's a very safe play to get the ball out to the wide receiver. It's just a quick out. You see Sanders makes the catch. Delton Hall is out of control. Also, Carnell Lake from the strong safety. Should have been about a 4 or 5 yard gain. Now Sanders makes some big plays downfield, and a few other people miss.
36 yards to be exact. The Skins set up shop on the Steeler 25-yard line.
They think if they get Sanders and their other wide receivers in the open field, give them some running room, they can make some big plays, and Sanders broke a couple tackles there.
Don Warren in motion. Fly pattern. Clark goes high in the air over Woodson and can't come down with the ball. He just threw it into the corner of the end zone. Clark went up for it over Woodson, and nobody came down with it. Rod had him covered step for step.
I think Woodson was right with Clark on the play, but he didn't turn back to the football quick enough. Just gets his hand up. Outstanding play. Really, he did not really get all the height he probably could have on jumping for the football, but Woodson just got his left hand in there. As soon as Clark went for the ball, he saw his hands go. That's when Woodson put his hand in as well and broke it up.
Delton Hall is out of there now at that left cornerback spot, and David Johnson is back in. 2nd down and 10 inside the Steeler 25. The first scoring threat of the night. Ripon has all day. Completes a pass. Greg Lloyd with the coverage on the far side of the field. He got it to his big tight end, Jimmy Johnson, the 2nd-year tight end from Howard University at 6'2", 245. So Ripon now is going to have 3rd down and about 5 to keep the football.
Well, Jimmy Johnson is the guy that came here last year from Howard and just caught everything in sight in camp. He just does not miss anything thrown to him. See him make the catch here right now. Linebackers or running backs, tight ends or running backs on a linebacker, usually a mismatch. Johnson's a big tight end and just worked himself free.
This could be the last play of the first quarter. Johnson in motion. Ripon. With time again. Throws it in the end zone. Clark's all alone. Touchdown, Skins. No, he said he caught it out of bounds. He caught the football out of bounds, but he put a move on David Johnson and spun him around. It was wide open in the end zone.
Well, I'll tell you, Gary Clark runs a corner route. What is he going to come down here? He's going to make it look like he's going to the post. He's going to make it look like he's going to the middle of the field, and at the last second, he just plants his left foot and breaks it back to that corner route. By this time, the ball is in the air. Ripping it a little over the timing, was a little bit late throwing the football. Clark had to wait for it. He goes up right here. He makes the catch. The 1 foot's in. Looks like the right foot is on the chalk. Good call by the official.
So the Steelers get a break. Boy, these receivers are impressive, Jack.
Well, one thing you got to do, you got to sell that cornerback that you are going down and going to run that post pattern. You see the left foot definitely in, the right foot out of bounds. There was a 5-yard separation between Johnson and Clark. If you see the catch again, and it hadn't been for the end zone, it would have been about a 20-yard separation.
Lohmiller will attempt the field goal here. There's a timeout momentarily on the field. Someday, maybe. The spot will come at the 27-yard line. This will be a field goal attempt by Lohmiller of 37 yards. And again, there is a delay. And this will definitely be the last play of the first quarter because there is no time showing on the clock. These games have been played in the first week of the exhibition season in an average of 2 hours and 52 minutes. They have improved, Jack, almost 18 minutes now from last year, which is very impressive.
Well, the NFL is so concerned about games running so long, especially with so many teams throwing the football. So
put 5 seconds back on the game clock, please.
Mark Wright has asked that they put 5 seconds back on the clock.
Signal.
And so they want to get games done around the 3-hour limit, or maybe even a little bit below 3 hours. And so far in the preseason, where there's a lot of penalties, it seems like they're right on schedule.
So I think we're finally going to get this field goal attempt by Lohmiller, who's been out there for 30 minutes, I think. Ozienko spots it. Lohmiller's kick is up, and it is good. Second leading scorer in the National Football League last year because the Redskins score a ton of points, averaging 31 over the last 5 games. They draw first blood at RFK Stadium. Chip Lohmiller, a 37-yard field goal, and the Skins lead it 3-0.
By all the fans in Pittsburgh.
Lorenzo Davis again, the deep receiving spot for the Steelers. Number 2, he's a rookie receiver out of Youngstown State, a free agent. The Steelers obviously think he's got some potential as a kick return specialist, but he has got himself a battle at that wide receiving spot where the Steelers really had some impressive performances during training camp so far. They would like to have that effectiveness carried into the football game. Third time I said this was the last play of the quarter, isn't it? Davis at the 3. Looking for a big return here. Gets a good block. Breaks out over the 25 to about the 29, maybe the 30-yard line. So Lorenzo Davis with an excellent kick return. And that will be the last play of the first quarter. Terry Orr is the man who made the stop. 3-0 Skins at the end of a quarter. Hammer and Sammer back at RFK Stadium. No,
what a team.
That doesn't play. Hammy Sammy with that word. Nice to have you with us on our second Steeler telecast along the Steeler Television Network. 3-0 Redskins in a very long first quarter. NFL officials will not be happy with that.
Now, a lot of penalties on the special teams, and so we're going to try to kind of quicken the pace up here a little bit.
So the Steelers now have the football from just inside their own 30-yard line, trailing here 3-0. Barry Foster makes his first appearance in the football game, paired in the backfield with Warren Williams. A quick out to Derek Hill, and he falls forward across the 35 to about the 37-yard line in the grasp of Martin Mayhew, the backup cornerback who was starting because of an injury to Brian Davis. 48 yards, 5 plays, and the 37-yard field goal by Lohmiller gives us our first score of the night. And the Steelers try to answer that and try to get something sustained. Now, last week you need to know that the Atlanta Falcons had drives of 80, 80, and 79 yards against this Redskin defense. Gained 406 yards of total offense. Foster carries Marcus Cook for a yard or 2 as he gets up near the first down marker at about the 39-yard line. It'll be third down, I believe, and about a yard to go here for the first down.
When I talked to Dick Hoke, the running back coach, he felt the running backs, it was so easy. It looked like they were running downhill last week against the Patriots. He'd like to get the guys banged around a little bit. It's not going to be that easy in the National Football League. You're not going to rush for 240 yards like they did. So he anticipates a lot of guys taking some pounding here in the game against the Redskins. 3rd and 1, 3 tight ends. 85 O'Shea, 81 Griggs join Malarkey. Foster trying to go outside. Got away from a tackler and took it upfield and near the 50-yard line. What a great effort by Barry Foster, who actually had a man in his face. John Jackson accidentally blocked the tackler into Foster, and I think he got around him on his own effort. I think Barry Foster made this play for the first down, but he made a bad cut. Jackson takes Marshall to the outside. He breaks to the outside. Should have broke right off the block by Jackson, take it inside off tackle, but still had the leg strength to break the tackle. You see right now, just a little delay. Good block by Terry Long. Should have broke inside on the play, but still had the leg strength to get to the outside and the speed to get the first down.
They spot the ball at the Steeler 48-yard line. First down, Pittsburgh. They've had some first downs tonight. They just cannot get in the scoring range. Bubby on first down. Throws the home run ball to Hill, and he outthrew him by 5 yards. Hill got away from Mayhew and had his man beat, but Bubby was 5 yards overthrown on the pass.
You know, with the new offense, the new Joe Walton offensive passing game, there's not a lot of long passes. So you don't practice that a lot. This time the time between Hill and Bubby Brister is not there. He lays it to the inside and a little bit shorter. Hill can run underneath that football and catch it for the score.
Jack, you remarked that the Steelers threw the ball on first down last week against New England 10 times and completed none.
And usually on first down, that's the time when you can complete most of your passes. People are looking for the running game, and they were 0 for 10 last week. So there's a lot of room for improvement in the passing game.
2nd and 10. Brister with some time over the middle, and that was in behind Derek Hill. The coverage by Darrell Green, number 28, the 8-year veteran out of Texas A&I. He may have gotten a finger on it, but another incomplete pass, and Brister still struggling with that offense.
Darrell Green is in the press technique, which is bump and run right on the receiver. And you see Joe Walton right now does not look happy right now with the passing game so far here in the first half, but Darrell Green with that bump and run coverage, and Derek Hill just could not get away from him. He had the underneath coverage and helped deep.
As we remarked last week, Walton using running backs and tight ends to shuttle the plays. Pressure. Bubby has to roll out of there. He's got some problems. Flings it downfield and way out of bounds, intended for Louis, actually intended for the out of bounds. Marcus Cook was in his face again, number 74, and there are some confusing problems on that offensive line of the Steelers. And Jack, you called it. You said they would not see the same front they saw from New England last week.
Well, when you're an offensive line and even the running backs and quarterbacks, you're seeing the same front for almost 3.5 quarters. You can really get into a rhythm, and that's exactly what Pittsburgh did last week. But the Redskins aren't letting him do that right now. They're blitzing some people at times, bringing in linebackers, rushing up the field, and Bubby's having a hard time trying to find some people open downfield.
Straczynski punting to Joe Howard. Fair catch at about the 20-21-yard line. Almost dropped the ball, juggled it, and held on at about the 21 or 22. Let's see where they spot it. So the Redskins have it back after a 31-yard punt and no return. A timeout with 12:58 to go first half, and the Steelers trailing by 3. I think that's a neighbor of yours, isn't it, Jen? Hey, a reminder, too, that we're delighted to have 2 affiliates joining us on the Steelers 1990 television network this year. WSEE in Erie, Pennsylvania, and WATM in Johnstown, Altoona. We'll say hi to anybody in Johnstown, Andy. Your hometown. From the 22-yard line, the Redskins leading 3-0, have the football with a 1 setback. And the pitch now to Riggs, trying to get outside. And he turned it outside. Flag is down as he gets to the 30-yard line. A tackle was missed upfield.
So they're going to call Ricky Sanders. He's the wide receiver coming back in and blocked on Rod Woodson. He cannot block low. It was almost like a clip from the outside. And that enabled running back Riggs to get to the outside, or Woodson would have made the play. That's one injury or one penalty the players really worry about. Getting clipped from behind. That could be a knee injury and could be a career shot.
So Rippon looking this one over.
Illegal blocking foul.
Mark's a very talented young man in his 4th year out of Washington State. 6'4", 234. As I mentioned, the 3rd leading passer in the National Football Conference last year.
Here's Riggs at the end of the play. And you see Rod Woodson trying to come up and make the play. Sanders to the outside. No question is a clip. He got him a little bit above the knee, so it's fortunate there's no injury on the play, but the referee's right there and made the play.
So the ball now walked off to the 12-yard line. It'll be first down at 20 for the Skins, now deep in their own territory from the I formation. Jimmy Johnson is the H-back. Riggs, 15, plows ahead to the 20. The former Atlanta Falcons star fighting for a spot on this club. They've got Ernest Biner, the former Cleveland Brown, James Wilder, the former Tampa Bay Buck, Kelvin Bryant, Reggie Dupard, the former #1 choice of the New England Patriots. They got everybody else's mistakes, don't they?
Well, Riggs, when he runs to the outside, to the right side, he runs a little bit more power. He reads his blockers a little bit better. You see right there, that was one of the running backs.
That was Biner, and he didn't have his shoulder pads on.
Ernest Biner was really the starting running back there, and he is out of the game. He's so valuable because he's so versatile. He can run the football and also an excellent receiver out of the backfield.
Second down at 12 now for 20 for the Redskins, leading 3-0 on a moving clock with 11:45 to go first half. Not much going on yet. Short pop over the middle. Clark turns it around in front of Delton Hall, who powers him and drags him down. And right at the 25-yard line. It'll be third down at about 6, maybe 7, as Clark spun around, did a 360 and tried to get away, but Hall was there to drag him down.
Well, Pittsburgh came with a blitz. They brought Brian Hingo off the corner. You see Hall out there one-on-one. This time he kind of breaks down. Clark trying to go to the outside, but he got his legs underneath him, and he collars Clark and brings him down. You can't be out of control. That time, Delton Hall did a good job in open field.
Aaron Jones is on the field, fresh from the physically unable to perform list. He just came off the list Wednesday, has missed all of training camp, and Mr. Jones is on the football field. Where's number 97? Rippon on 3rd and 6. Wide open to Clark. It's a foot race to the end zone. And Hall drags him down to the 25.
The Redskins love those in routes. About 20 yards downfield, a quick in route. You see a missed tackle right across the middle. Clark's got great speed, but Delton Hall had an angle from the other side of the field. That's good hustle by Hall. He's the left corner. The play's on the other side of the field, and that was a touchdown-saving tackle right here.
Absolutely, Hammer. Give the guy credit. 35 came all the way across the field. Billy Owens had the coverage. Hall made the saving tackle. First down, Redskins at the Steeler 25. We're back live. Riggs into a pile and knocked down by Greg Lloyd. Number 95 made the initial contact. David Little also there, number 50, a gain of 3. Second down, 7 for the Skins. We have beaten on Hall, you know, unmercifully over the past couple of years, and he made a great play there. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Pittsburgh Steelers television network. With Steeler Hall of Famer Jack Ham, this is Sam Nover at RFK Stadium, Washington, D.C. 9:30 to go on a moving clock. Skins lead at 3-0, and threatening again. Second down and 8. Sanders in motion coming your way. Rippon throws it short. Lloyd has the coverage and throws him right down and points in Sanders' face. The intimidating linebacker Greg Lloyd puts a finger in Sanders' face. You got to love that.
Well, he's an aggressive linebacker. All Sanders is doing is coming down in motion and just trying to open area in that secondary, either running a crossing route across the middle. He just sits down about 8 or 9 yards. You see him coming out of the backfield right here in motion, and Rippon looking at him all the way. Pretty good protection in the pocket and delivers the football. He just sits down in the open area in that zone defense.
So it's third down 4. Redskins have the ball just shy of the Steelers' 18-yard line. Big stand for Pittsburgh here. Like to make Lohmiller attempt another field goal here.
This is Calvin Bryant character right here, 3rd and 4. They love to go to him.
That's the guy out of the backfield. Rippon, Bryant, first down, goal to go. Little knocked him out. Hammer on the great call.
3rd and 4. It's a possession type down. You try to double up on your wide receivers. The guy that usually gets that single coverage is the guy out of the backfield. And yeah, you get a two-way go with Calvin Bryant coming out of the backfield, and look at it. He's looking at him all the way, just waiting for him to break open to the outside, and he is wide open. He's a valuable. He makes $700,000 a year, and when he comes down in on third down situations.
Joe Gibbs said he is the best third down out of the backfield receiver he has ever seen in his life, and a lot of people rooting for Kelvin. He missed all of last year. An auto accident caused some serious back problems, but in the 3 previous seasons, he caught 128 passes. And he averaged nearly 5 yards a pop running the football. A very valuable talent, Calvin Bryant. This is Riggs for a couple of tough yards. I erroneously said they were inside the 10 and had first and goal, Jack. They spotted him out of bounds at the 11-yard line. So the Redskins can get a first down at the 1. That was a carry of 4 by Riggs. It'll be second down and 6 for the first down, 7 for the touchdown.
The Redskins gave up a lot of draft choices for Gerald Riggs. Came here last year in the first 2 football games. He was not known for a fumbler, but fumbled football twice and cost him 2 games to go 0-2.
Kenny Davidson, the second-round draft choice, has gone all the way, number 64 at that defensive right end. They're giving him a long look-see tonight. Rippon, short drop, flips it out here. Touchdown, easy as pie. Ricky Sanders.
Ricky Sanders just comes out of that slot area. We have Lloyd out there trying to cover him. Also Rod Woodson. Both Lloyd and Woodson looking at each other. You see Rippon initially just looking at the outside. You see Rod Woodson get caught in the inside, and also Greg Lloyd. You really can't tell how the coverage was supposed to be and whose fault it was on that play. Probably Rod Woodson was supposed to come off and pick up Sanders to the outside.
The extra point by Lohmiller is up and good. So the Redskins now, with 7:15 to play in the half, have not only done the job defensively, shutting the Steelers down completely, but they put 10 points on the board. There's a timeout on the field. 10-0 the Skins. We'll be back. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, John Fetko live here from the field at RFK Stadium. He'll also have the Steelers Song of the Week and a special feature on the Bubster, but not as a football player, as a baseball player with his former manager, the current manager of the Pirates, Jim Leland. I bet many of you didn't even know that. That should be interesting. Here, Lohmiller's kick, 3 yards deep in the end zone. Lorenzo's coming out with it. Oh, and he got hit at the 13. He got rocked. Great tackle there by number 30, Brian Mitchell. Also, Bonner was there, number 56, but they rocked him at the 13-yard line. Let's look at that touchdown play again to Sanders.
Looked like there's some confusion with the linebackers on the inside. Rod Woodson way 5 or 6 yards off of Sanders on that play. Miscommunication in the secondary. Can't tell whose fault it was, but Sanders makes an easy catch and an easy score.
Gotta love Rippon. He's 9 out of 15, 144 yards in the touchdown. Clark with 3 catches. Sanders with 3 catches. He has spread it around. So the Steelers now try to answer from their own 13. Short roll for Bubby. Throws it over the middle. It's caught by Foster at the 20-yard line. In the grasp of Greg Minuski, their middle linebacker, number 91, but Foster has been the only semblance of offense the Steelers have had in this game.
I think they need to get a good drive here right now. I think it's very important as we see the replay right now, that a little quick roll, trying to find somebody to the outside. One of the receivers not open. That time Brister comes off the initial receiver and gets the ball to Foster, but they haven't had success throwing the ball last week at all. So far with 6 minutes left to go here in the half. You need the offense to hang their hat on something here because Brister is not going to play after the first half.
He was 3 out of 10 for 34 yards last week in the first half. He's 4 out of 9 for 31 yards this week. In defense of Bubby, he had a bomb dropped by Rodney Carter, so his stats could be better. Second down and 2 from the 21. Warren Williams cuts it up. Ooh, nothing going on there. Marcus Cook was there, 74. Charles Mann, 71. Milford Hodge, 75.
Sam, I think what I was talking about, their defensive linemen doing a lot of different stunts right now. They're giving them different looks for the offensive linemen, and the offensive linemen have to make the calls to each other. There are 2 or 3 people in the backfield. A lot of miscommunication in the offensive line, seeing the recognition of what front they're looking at.
So the Steelers give way on that play. They have 3rd down and 5. They lose 3 on the carry by Williams. From the shotgun, Bubby has not been effective here from the shotgun yet tonight. Whitestone, Ouija Thompson is the receivers. Flag is down. Fires this one over the middle. It's caught. And around the 31-yard line, in the grasp there of Billy Griggs, the tight end of the Plan B free agent from the New York Jets, who just sat down in the seam in front of Martin Mayhew. And the penalty is against the Steelers. This, unfortunately, will come back.
Boy, it looked like one of the Redskins on the play got his left hand in there trying to deflect the ball away. Griggs makes the catch. It's going to be called back out of the shotgun. You see Bristol just looking downfield. Stone cutting underneath and now getting the ball to Griggs. At the end of the play, it looked like number 40, Alvin Walton, tried to make the play and deflect the ball, missed the football. Good concentration by Griggs to make the catch.
Illegal motion foul. Number 20, offense.
Mark Wright's microphone is not working. It was illegal motion against the Steelers. Another 5-yard walk-off. They are back to their original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and 10 at the 13-yard line. 4:58 to go here in the second quarter. Is our audience hearing the referee? Because we aren't hearing him in the booth. I don't know whether we're just not getting the information up here or whether it's not going out to our home audience. 3rd down and 10. Foster's in the slot to the right. They're going to run it. Bell gets outside to about the 17-yard line, picking up maybe 5 on the carry. Richard Bell, the 12th round draft choice out of Nebraska, and Chuck Noll elects to keep the ball on the ground in an obvious passing situation. And so Straczynski will now be asked to get the ball out of trouble, kicking from inside his 10-yard line.
Not a bad play sometimes on 3rd down. A lot of teams play man-to-man coverage, thinking you're going to throw the football. You get a sweep to the outside, and Bell turns the corner. Sometimes you can make a big play out of the running game, but that time the Redskins reacted very quickly.
Marcus Cherry in single safety back at his own 40-yard line. Another good high punt, not particularly long. Cherry at the 41. Gives ground and is tackled back at the 39. Steelers with excellent coverage. Gerald Williams, number 57, the first man downfield. And so the Redskins still with good field position, but after an excellent punt, 40 yards, -3 on the return. The Steelers net 43 yards on the play. And a penalty marker is down. This one may be coming back again. Boy, they have been beset with penalties tonight. Especially had only 3 penalties, Jack, last week for 21 yards. They've had 4 in this ball game for 35 already, and we haven't reached the midway point.
Well, that's really a surprise last week. Usually your first preseason game, a lot of flags usually thrown, a lot of miscommunication, and a lot of penalties, and a lot of stoppage of play. Hopefully in your second game you get a little bit of that ironed out, but so far in the first half, it's been a long first half.
Marcus Cherry, the rookie wide receiver out of Boston College, at his own 45-yard line. Straczynski now makes a great catch just to come down with it and gets off a pretty good punt. Cherry at his 45. And out of bounds at the Steeler 43-yard line. First man downfield was Billy Owens, the former Pitt star. 42 yards under pressure for Straczynski. 12 on the return. There's a timeout. It's 10-0 the Skins. Sam Noper, Jack Ham back at RFK Stadium in Washington. It has been all Redskins thus far, but Straczynski is really distinguishing himself tonight.
Tough situation. Chuck Noll likes to see a punter back from his own end zone. Got to get the ball out. First of all, made a great catch on a bad snap. A good high punt downfield.
Next week, 9 p.m. on our Steeler Network from Irving, Texas. The Steelers and Dallas Cowboys. Hope you'll join us for that one. Our coverage begins with a pregame show at 8:30. Rippon wants it all. Downfield, it is incomplete. David Johnson step for step with Art Monk. And excellent coverage by the youngster out of Wisconsin, David Johnson. From Kentucky, I beg your pardon. Wisconsin on my brain tonight. Second-year cornerback. Was burned earlier in the ball game for an apparent touchdown, but Clark came down with the ball out of bounds.
A good back pedal. He sees the play all the way. You can see the quarterback and the route by Art Monk. Looks like almost he's the receiver right here going downfield. Good position. Monk does not have the speed he once had coming out of the University of Syracuse. He's more of an intermediate type passer.
Second down and 10 from the Steeler 43. That's Jimmy Johnson, 88, the H-back. Rippon not had much pressure on him. Intercepted! A.J. Jenkins to the 40, 35, and brought down from behind. Kelvin Bryant made the saving tackle. Whistles all over the place. But A.J. Jenkins stepped in front of the intended receiver and brought it back into scoring territory for the Steelers.
Well, this has been the rap on Rippon down here in Washington. Throws the ball deep downfield, but all of a sudden he will not read the coverage properly. It was a zone defense all the way. Kelvin Bryant was not open at all. Just sitting right down there in the open area, and Jenkins just steps right in front. You see the linebackers here right now. They're just going to drop off into the secondary, little zone defense, and he just delivers the football and just forces the football right underneath. Kelvin Bryant's not open at all, really quit on the route, and it went for an interception.
Third interception of the preseason by the Steelers. Johnson and Williams had them last week. No place to run for Richard Bell. He loses a couple of yards back to the 35. So the Washington Partisans now trying to get their defense moving. Andre Collins came out of linebacker U. Can't think of anybody else who went to Penn State. Can you, Hammer?
Well, Andre Collins, they're high on him right now. He's played a lot of good football in the two scrimmages against Pittsburgh and the preseason game. He's coming on a blitz to the outside, disrupts the entire play, and they're looking to see a lot more blitzing here in the first half than Pittsburgh's seen in the entire preseason and the two scrimmages.
Collins was the only draft choice the Redskins had in the first 75 picks of the draft. So he better be good. Second down and 13 for the Steelers. Best scoring opportunity of the night. 2:40 to go in the half, and they're not on the board. Krister. Foster up the middle. The 20, 15, 10, 5 to 3. Barry Foster.
And Barry Foster was not the initial receiver, the guy that Bristol would love to have gone to. He rolled out to his left. You see Bristol right now, a little half roll to his left, trying to get to the wide receiver to the outside, not there. And all of a sudden, the back releasing out of the backfield. Here comes Foster right up the seam, and I'll tell you, he's got explosive speed. He turns it on right here, beats a lot of people downfield, headed for the goal line, gets inside the 5.
Weegee trying to give him a block there at the 5-yard line. 32 yards on the play. We have reached the 2-minute warning. The Pittsburgh Steelers knocking on the door. First and goal when we come back from the Redskins 3-yard line. There is a timeout on the field. The Steelers trying to get on the board, trailing 10-0. So Bubby is huddled with his offensive boss, Joe Walton. Jack, let's take a look at that great play again as Barry Foster. Give Bubby credit. He found his man, maybe third in the progression of things, but he found him, and Foster did the rest.
Well, when he half rolls, a little half roll to his left, the defense kind of slides over to that side a little further on the field. And when you have that play coming out of the backfield, Foster coming out of the backfield, he's wide open.
Brian Blankenship in at center. Here's the give to Bell, fighting his way down to the 1-yard line. Richard Bell, the 12th round draft choice out of Nebraska, getting close but not in. Clock continues to run. 1:45 to go in the half. Greg Manusky, the third-year veteran out of Colgate and middle linebacker for the Redskins, a man who made the stop. A reminder, at the conclusion of tonight's game, Jack and I will again be selecting the Iron City Beer Iron Man of the game. We had a disagreement last week. I wanted Warren Williams. You wanted Barry Foster, and the truck voted for Foster, and I lost.
And he's probably made the only big play so far for Pittsburgh now is Barry Foster's run to get him in a situation where they can't score.
First charge,
another timeout. The Steelers want to talk this one over with 1:37 to go in the half. We'll be right back.
Will the 90s once again be the decade of the Steelers? Follow every black and gold hit, every sprint for the end zone, every long bomb with a subscription to Steelers Digest. Steelers Digest is packed with player features, action photos, and the latest inside information. You can get 26 issues of Steelers Digest delivered to your home for just $29.95. That's a full season of black and gold highlights for just $29.95. To order, call 1-800-334-4005.
John Fetko getting pumped up for halftime. He'll be live here from the field at RFK Stadium. Have a feature on Bubby Brister as a baseball player and his minor league manager. The Steelers Song of the Week. You'll want to stay tuned for that. Stay with us. Right now, the Steelers trying to get the ball to the end zone. They are 1 yard away. Brian Blankenship playing center. He's the backup now with Lanza out of there. Foster, touchdown! Foster just staying low to the ground, squirmed through a small hole, and got it into the end zone. This kid can play.
And Foster is 5'10", 222 pounds. You can see the legs he has in him. A lot of his strength is in the lower part of his body. And you're exactly right. He just stayed low. Offensive lineman coming off the ball. Not all that much movement, but he just takes people on right at the point of attack. Really runs over Greg Minuski, the linebacker, and just took it into the end zone. That one hit did not stop him.
Anderson's extra point attempt is perfect. So with 1:34 left in the half, the Steelers get on the board, and there seems little question as to who has been the offensive star here in the first half. And it presents some questions, Jack. What do you do now with Hodge and Worley and Warren Williams? This kid's got to play.
Barry Foster's the guy who's just been consistent the entire camp. Usually you take a shot right there, you may be stopped, but those legs just keep driving. I'll tell you, any defensive line or linebacker, they hate to take on a guy who's built that low to the ground because you can't get a good shot at him. And when he puts his shoulders down and his helmet down, when he just burrowed into that end zone for the touchdown.
Something the Steelers have not had in years. Somebody who runs tough up the middle. Merrill can do it, but Foster obviously has that great skill himself.
And I'll tell you what, also in third down and short situations and in the goal line right here, those are the guys that keep drives alive for you. And you keep possession of the football. You make that 3rd down and 1 or 3rd down and 2 in short yardage or the touchdown like Barry Foster did right there.
3 carries for 12 yards. The 1-yard run actually penalizes him for the touchdown, or his average would be considerably higher. 2 catches, 39 yards.
Seems like he's been able to do everything. Catch the football, run hard, run with speed, make some moves in the secondary. Once he got the football, he has played well.
You asked a question in our open tonight. He will be tested as a blocker. Can he block? And I'm asking you, have you seen him block
so
yet?
far, he's done extremely well blocking for Warren Williams.
2 yards deep in the end zone. It's Joe Howard to the 20. Breaks through to the 24-yard line and knocked down right there. David Johnson was there and shows the penalty marker. Tim Terrell, number 23, who ran so effectively with the ball last week and is a great special teams player, and is trying to make this football team again. There's the scoring drive following the interception by A.J. Jenkins. 32 yards in a minute 50.
On the return, first down.
And now's a good opportunity with 1 minute and 30 seconds left to go for Pittsburgh to work on that 2-minute defense. So you can put pressure on Rippon, because I'll tell you, they can take the ball down the field very quickly with all the receivers and running backs that the Redskins have. So they're going to have to play some solid defense here in the last minute and a half.
Steelers have 2 timeouts remaining if they elect to use them. Rippon just coming on the field now with Gerald Riggs as running back as they start from inside their 10-yard line. 1:30 to go here in the half. Again, John Fetko, halftime highlights. We'll be talking, of course, we've talked about Bubby. Nice feature as a baseball player. Reunited with his former minor league manager, Jimmy Leland. Straight ahead Riggs. Breaking out to about the 12 or 13-yard line. Stopped by the middle of the line, including the aforementioned A.J. Jenkins, who really made the play that turned this game around for the Steelers so far.
Well, he made the play, and also with a bad read by Rippon to throw the football into his zone defense. He really misread the coverage, let the ball out in the flat. Jenkins made the catch. After that was all Barry Foster for the touchdown.
Defensive line coach Joe Green with one of his prized pupils, Keith Willis, enjoying a laugh on the sideline. Under a minute to go in the half.
I played with him 12 years. I never saw him laugh.
Not on the field anyway.
Never on the field, I'll tell you that.
Second down, 6. He's really enjoying his coaching and becoming a darn good coach, Jack. He's worked very hard at it. Rippon, little screen for Riggs, the center screen. That'll be a first down. The middle screen, and they got the first down. Greg Lloyd made the stop, but that'll prevent the Steelers from trying to stop the clock here and getting the football back, as the Redskins will be able to cycle the down box one more time. And now they want a timeout with 23 seconds, 22, 21. They're not going to get it.
Oh, but Rippon wasted a lot of time. If he got the first down, he should immediately turn to Mark Wright, call the timeout. He wasted about 20 seconds. Now down to 18 seconds. There's probably no chance now.
Well, what's your evaluation of him? You're a little critical here on his read on the A.J. Jenkins.
Well, he's always had the...
So we have come to the mid-break. That's the end of the first half. The score, the Washington Redskins 10, the Pittsburgh Steelers 7. Mitchell returned the opening kickoff last week, 92 yards against Atlanta for a touchdown. He'd love to get his hands on it again, but he won't. This will be Howard at the 13. 20. Spins to about the 22. Good coverage by the Steeler special teams. First man downfield. As usual, Tim Terrell, number 23. It's going to be hard, Jack, to keep him off this team.
Well, there's so many good running backs. I mean, special teams is a big part of this football game, but Dick Hoekstra probably had the most difficult position on the team in trying to cut down to the squad with the running backs. There's such talent there with Hodge, Worley, so many good players that it's going to be a difficult decision in a couple of weeks.
Rippon will start the third quarter at quarterback. He's got James Wilder, the 10-year veteran out of Missouri, former Tampa Bay Buccaneer, back there with him. Breaks down. Rippon now throws downfield, intercepted. Picked off by the Steelers' Darrell Holmes, the Plan B free agent. And the Steelers now, with 2 interceptions, have it inside the Skins' 30-yard line.
When Mark Rippon was trying to go to that quick hitch pass that he hit in the first half to Ricky Sanders, with both covered, both corners rolled up, that was taken away from him. Then he floats the ball downfield. It's intended for Terry Orr. You see him to look left now. All of a sudden, he lays the football out there. Well, that's an easy interception. Trying to get the ball down to Terry Orr. Just completely overthrows him, and Darrell Holmes just picks it off.
The Steelers begin the second half with Randy Wright as their quarterback. Barry Foster is the up back, and the other one is Richard Bell. Now they're in a pro set. Steelers down 10-7, but threatening at the Redskins' 29. Bell dragged down as he reaches the 27-yard line. Pulled down from behind by Clarence Vaughn, the strong safety in his 4th year out of Northern Illinois. A gain of 2, or let's make it 3. It'll be second down and 7 for the Steelers, following their 4th interception of the preseason.
We're going to take a long look at Bell. Bell's a guy who had a good game last week against the Patriots, so Dick Hoekstra wants to see a lot more of him. The hole was there initially. You've got to hit it a little bit quicker. An instant earlier, he's through that hole for big yardage.
Tom Ricketts in there now with the offensive right tackle spot, replacing Tunch Ilkin. Starting receivers, Lips to the left, Hill to the right. Second down, 7. Foster runs into Brisker, still takes the handoff, and gets maybe a yard. Then he ran into big number 75, Milford Hodge. Just a completely botched play in the backfield.
Well, we got a new quarterback in here. Barry Foster still in the lineup here in the third quarter.
I'm sorry, I said Brisker. It was Randy Wright.
A lot of times that will cause a fumble sometimes when the quarterback and the running back run into each other on that handoff, but Foster hung on to the football and just took the loss. You see him right now. He thought there would be underneath ball handling. Wright thought that Foster was going to go over the top behind him on the play, and they just run right into each other. I'm sure Chuck Noll will not be too happy about that when he reviews the film in a couple of days.
So Wright now has a third down and 7. The ball at the Skins' 26-yard line. They are obviously in range for Gary Anderson, but they'd love to put this one to the end zone. Dips in motion on the blitz. Wright goes down. Monty Coleman came through untouched. And now the question is, are they still in range for Anderson? I don't know. 50 yards perhaps.
Well, you talk about a mental breakdown that may cost them 3 points in a situation like this. We know it's a preseason game, but you want to do all things right mentally. See Wright just dropping back to pass. A breakdown, not always the offensive lineman. Sometimes the back. Foster's in there as well. I'm not sure whether he is supposed to slide over, but obviously a miscommunication again with 3 or 4 mental mistakes so far in this game.
A 51-yard attempt for Anderson, who was 3 out of 5 last week, having 1 block This one is, he's got enough leg. It is good. Anderson right down the pipe. 51 yards and the game is tied. Isn't he something else?
I'll tell you, he just had enough on that play because it hits the padding over the crossbar, and he just barely had enough. 51.
So Anderson, with a 51-yarder to his credit, ties the game, and here's his kick. It will be Joe Howard at the 2-yard line to the 20. Fighting his way forward to the 25, and he's down there. Let's take a look at it again. That is the extent of Gary Anderson's range, but he was dead in the middle, wasn't he?
Snap gets down, the ball's down, the laces are away from him. Good follow through by Anderson. Boy, he's very casual about this. He kind of jogs off the field after a 51-yard field goal. I guess he realized it's preseason also.
So the Redskins now begin at their own 25-yard line. Let's see if Rippon is still in there at quarterback.
3 plays minus 4 yards, 3 points.
From the I formation. Terry Orr in motion, Rippon back to pass. Again, throws this one over the middle, and it is complete, I believe, to Orr, the H-back, across the 30-yard line in the grasp of Tyrone Stowe, the 4-year veteran out of Rutgers. So he picks up about 5 or 6 on that completion. One gets the feeling, Jack, that Joe Gibbs is going to keep him in there till he gets it right.
Well, he's made 2 mental mistakes. But lobbing the ball when his initial receiver was covered, he comes off to the out receiver, tries to float the ball down the middle, and he's the guy to really cost him the 10 points why this game is tied, or they'd had an opportunity to blow this game open if he doesn't throw the 2 interceptions.
2nd down and 4 for the Skins, just across their own 30-yard line. One setback behind Rippon. That's James Wilder, and he gets a handoff. Wilder still fighting for yardage, gets a couple of yards in the grasp there of Stowe again. So Tyrone making 2 plays in a row, and the Redskins now with 3rd down at about a long 2 to keep the football in a 10-10 game.
Well, James Wilder had a lot of good years at Tampa. He took a beating down there, trying to hit the hole. You see Stowe coming from the inside, just reading the misdirection of the offensive guard, just flowing right down the line of scrimmage, seeing Wilder just break to the outside. Good, solid tackle by Tyrone Stowe. Steelers still using some of their starters in that secondary. 26 Rod Woodson now swapping sides, moving as they flop both of their receivers to the right, and now split Terry Orr way out here to the left. That's Monk in motion, and Woodson follows him across the scrimmage line. Rippon fumbles the ball. Skins get it back at their own 31-yard line. Somebody knocked the ball loose, and it may have been Donald Evans, that young free agent out of Salem State, who's trying to make this club a defensive end. Well, I'm not sure Rippon should have come out in the second half. He might need more than that 12-minute halftime to get on track right now. Interception, now fumbles the football. Again, could not find anyone open. Donald Evans from the backside just strips him of the football. He tries to step up in the pocket and get away. Gets his right hand in, strips the ball loose, and almost caused another turnover.
And we're back live. Mozienko with a horrible kick, but he gets a great bounce. Getting away from it is Shelton, and it'll be killed at about the 22-yard line. Mozienko hit that one very short. It bounced inside the 35 and finally rolled dead at the Steeler 22-yard line. 46 on the punt, no return. We have 10:04 to go in the 3rd quarter. The Steelers and Skins are dead even. And again, we remind you at the conclusion of tonight's game, Jack and I will be selecting the Iron City Beer Iron Man of the game. Who do you like so far? As if I don't know.
I'm a big Barry Foster fan.
And I think on this occasion I may join you. Steelers have it 1st and 10 now at their own 22-yard line. Randy Wright is the quarterback. Foster is behind him along with number 21, Richard Bell. Looks for the quick out, fires it over here. Callaway got his hands on it, could not hold on to the football. The coverage there was by, who was it? Wayne Davis, 26. Incomplete, 2nd down and 10. Steelers still try to work the rust off that Joe Walton short passing game system. Not real effective.
They're trying to get the ball out to Callaway, who's had a good camp and caught the ball well in training camp. You see Tom Ricketts on a blocking down. All of a sudden he comes off of him. He got a loop, a stunt by the defensive lineman, so he comes off on the other defensive lineman coming up the field. And that's what offensive linemen have to do. They got to react again. It's almost like counter-punching.
2nd down and 10. Wright turns and gives the ball. Bell, I believe, stopped right at the line of scrimmage. There's nothing there. Right into the hands of Pat Swoops, the 2nd-year man out of Mississippi State, who just cut his legs out from under him. So it'll be 3rd down. Steelers may have even lost a few inches on that one. 3rd down, let's call it 11. And they make some wholesale changes here. O'Shea is in, number 85. Rodney Carter, number 24, and Wright looks for some help as they bring the play in from offensive coordinator Joe Walton.
I think Chuck Noll, likes what he sees in the sense of this is more like a game. And last week was more like a scrimmage. It was too easy for the whole team running the football. Guys getting banged around. They're not running as hard or not running as well as they did last week. This is what Chuck Noll has to see from some of those players.
Dwight Stone in motion, turns it upfield. Throws it out. Foster is wide open at the 40, 45, puts a move on the safety. Number 31, Clarence Vaughn, and goes out of bounds on the far side. Barry Foster on the whole left side was cleared out for him.
Where's my ballot for the Iron City man? That time he went 36 yards, a broken assignment. I'll tell you, Wright gets the football out to him, and he realizes he's wide open on that flare. 31 for the Redskins trying to get to him. Clarence Vaughn cannot. Good speed, but Barry Foster realized little hesitation at the end because he knows he's cut off at the sideline, try to get more on the play, and Wright reads it perfectly. They're on a blitz. He dumps the football off. Broken assignment in the secondary, and Barry Foster makes them pay.
Glad you pointed out, Jack. Excellent read by Randy Wright. He caught the blitz, released to the man immediately, and Foster did the rest himself. First down, Steelers at the 42-yard line of the Skins. Wright now flushed out of the pocket. They got a hand on him, and he throws it. Intercepted, and that'll be a Redskin touchdown. Monty Coleman, number 51. What price glory for Randy Wright.
Randy Wright, when he scrambled out, it looked like this ball may have been tipped at the end. It may have been tipped, and then Monty Coleman picks it off. Couldn't find anyone open. Don't throw across your body like this. He gets a ball, a wobbly throw back. Wasn't tipped, just a bad throw by Randy Wright. And I'll tell you, Coleman just stepped underneath. He was probably the most excited about anybody because he did not believe the football was coming to him. He just stood right there and made the easy interception. And those are the mental errors you make in a football game that can cost you dearly. And Randy Wright just made one.
49 yards on the interception return by Coleman. Lowmiller's extra point attempt is up and good. And just like that, that's how you go from laughs to tears in this game. I'll tell you, Steelers were chuckling to themselves. They swept the left side for Foster, found him wide open. On the very next play, Wright throws the interception pick for the touchdown at 17-10, the Skins. Monty Coleman had just come on the field to replace Wilbur Marshall at the right linebacking spot. On the very first play, he picks off a pass by Randy Wright and takes it into the end zone. This is Dwight Stone, 2 yards deep, fumbles the ball. He's in deep trouble. He's down at the 1-yard line. Redskins claim to have the football. I don't know whether that's going to be allowed or not.
I think they rolled him down inside the 1. Well, you got a hand. Things are really going bad right now for the Steelers.
That's Danny Crossman, the former University of Pittsburgh star.
Dwight Stone converted running back to wide receiver. Has a hard time handling the football. Almost hits him in the face mask. Misjudge it. Picks it up right around the goal line. As he goes down, then the ball pops out. The official ruled him down at the 1.
So things have gone from bad to worse for the Steelers. The interception for the touchdown, and here's how they got in trouble.
Well, here's a linebacker's dream, and I think a quarterback's nightmare. He's rolling out, you see Wright rolling out to the right, and just at the end, almost in the grass, just throws it across his body, and Coleman sitting right there underneath makes the easy interception and walks in for the score.
Better watch it here. They're at their 1-yard line. Right to Foster, a yard maybe. Fumbles the ball again. It's loose in the end zone. Skins have it. Boy, you'd think this was the NFC Championship game or something. They're going nuts.
Well, we're saying all the praises to Barry Foster, but you're backed up in your own goal line. You got to hang on to the football. You got 2 hands on the ball right here. As it comes through, the ball gets knocked out. Looked like one of the defensive linemen, Alonzo Mitch, knocks it out right at the 1-yard line. The ball pops into the end zone, and all of a sudden, the Redskins put 14 points on the board in a hurry.
Alonzo Mitch it was who knocked the ball out of Foster's grasp. Recovered by Clarence Vaughn in the end zone for the touchdown. So the Skins have scored 2 touchdowns in 12 seconds or something like that. 7:45 to go here in the third quarter. And what was a 10-10 football game is about to become 24-10 Washington. Lowmiller attempting the extra point. Kick is up and good. This has not been so much the Redskins playing well as the Steelers absolutely shooting themselves in the foot here.
And it's all, sometimes there's a lot of little things as well.
And again, Jack and I and our entire broadcast crew here at RFK Stadium welcome you. And we want to again extend our thanks and delighted to have aboard this year the Steelers Television Network, WSQE in Erie, Pennsylvania, WATM in Johnstown, Altoona. This is Richard Bell, a yard deep in the end zone. Haven't we been here before? Trying to get to the outside, 25 to about the 27-yard line. The rookie out of Nebraska getting the Steelers out of a hole to the 27. And that's where Randy Wright in the offense will put the ball in play.
I'll tell you, pretty good crowd here, huh?
Oh, yeah, they're sold out, Jack.
Look at Chuck.
Steelers have the football at their own 27-yard line. They're trailing 24-10. The Redskins scored 2 defensive touchdowns, and that is not a happy camp.
Now, look at that body language by Chuck Noll. I mean, the worst thing, he doesn't mind people making plays against you when an athlete beats somebody deep or whatever for a score, but mental errors and mental breakdowns in a tough situation will drive him crazy.
Those interviews after the game with John Petco in the 5th quarter will be very interesting. We'll have live interviews from the locker room, get all the post-game comments directly following tonight's game. So stay with us for that. That is for our Pittsburgh viewers only. Foster was the man who was supposed to be on the field and was not. So Berry has fallen into a time warp here the last couple of plays. He gets the ball. And a yard maybe to the 28 in the grasp of Kurt Govea, 4-year linebacker out of BYU, number 54.
But his crowd down here is really into the game, and I think it's got the Redskins pumped up as well here in the 3rd quarter, making the big plays, scoring 14 quick points, and all of a sudden from the backup people are in there making some solid open field tackles like Kurt Govea just did in that play on Barry Foster's run.
Actually, he gained nothing. They put it right on the line of scrimmage at 27. It is 2nd down and 10. Stone comes wide to the left, and Callaway, the rookie from Michigan, is to the left. Stone to the right. Right. Over the middle, caught by O'Shea for a couple of yards in the grasp of Clarence Vaughn. It'll be a gain of maybe 3. 3rd down and 7 now for the Steelers. I don't know about this short yard passing offense. Let's get the ball down the field.
Well, Callaway was running a deep pattern downfield. He was well covered. I think the only outlet Wright had was the underneath to O'Shea. He was the only open player going downfield in that secondary.
Someday the wave will die, Hammer, and I will be there to celebrate its death.
Well, people in, I think, Seattle started this whole thing many years ago.
3rd down, Rodney Carter in the backfield. Stone in motion, number 20. Right. Throws it. He's got a wide open Griggs, and it was deflected away at the last moment by Vaughn. Griggs was downfield, and Billy was wide open at the 40-yard line. If Wright could have just carried the ball another yard over the extended reach of Vaughn, he would have had 6 points.
When Vaughn is running off the field, they're giving high fives to each other. He was badly beaten by about 4 or 5 yards. He just gets his left hand on the ball. Wright just has to lay that ball out there a little bit over his head. Griggs has the catch and maybe a touchdown.
Well-conceived play, even though it didn't work. Marcus Cherry in single safety at his own 30-yard line. Dan Straczynski punting for the 6th time in this football game. Will hit it in the neighborhood of his own 20-yard line. Good snap. Good, high, short kick, 35. Jerry wants to go with it, and there's no place to go. He may have gotten a yard, and there are penalty markers all over the field. One on the far side and one right in front of the Redskins bench. So with 5:28 to go, the clock stopped. 35 yards on the punt, and the preliminary signal is against the Steelers. They may have left too soon again, but we may have offsetting penalties. Just wait and see.
Maybe I called a illegal blocker on Roy Bent, or even a personal foul penalty. One of the defensive backs on the kick return team for the Redskins. You see the punt against Straczynski gets a good high punt downfield, but Terry Orr on a hold right around the 30-yard line. They bring this one back. Now I think Stan Humphrey's in here at quarterback.
He is indeed. Former backup to Bubby Brister in Northeast Louisiana. Gets to Wilder, who spins away to the 31-yard line. Kenny Davidson, the Steelers' second-round draft choice out of LSU, made the stop. Davidson's an interesting story. The guy could not even start at LSU, but he is such a remarkable athletic specimen. The Steelers could not resist making him a second-round draft choice.
You talk about a real chance on a draft choice. Taking a guy that high in the draft who has not produced all that much in college football. But you're right, they're saying with his ability, he could be an outstanding pass rusher, great speed, good quickness.
So Humphreys on for the first time tonight in his second year out of Northeast Louisiana. Rolling to his right. Second down. He's going to run for it. And he's chased out of bounds by Gerald Williams, number 57, the second-year linebacker out of Purdue. And they will spot that, I believe, shy of the first down. It'll be third down now for the Redskins. And about 4 yards now. It'll be less than that, Jack. Let's see where they mark the football.
I'll tell you what speed and quickness can do. Gerald Williams runs down Stan Humphreys. Art Monk is downfield, open by about 4 or 5 yards. If Humphreys has a little chance, he can just lob the football down there for an easy score. Gerald Williams has made a lot of big plays in the last 2 preseason games. Outstanding athlete to be a designated pass rusher in their four down defensive lineman.
Third down and 2. Steelers trying to stack it up. Monk is in motion. Quick flip out to the flat. It's dropped by Kelvin Bryant, who had the first down and much more. In and out of the hands of the 4-year veteran out of North Carolina, who also started the USFL and is making, what'd you say, Jack, $750,000 a year?
$700,000 last year of his contract. He came to camp in outstanding shape this year. Wants to stay healthy the entire season. We've got to catch the football. He doesn't drop the ball. I mean, he is so wide open. Looked like he was looking at the ball when it came in. Just dropped the football. A good block downfield by Monk. He could have gone a long way. Mosienko,
low snap from center, gets off the left-footed punt. A line drive. Richard Shelton, in front of him. Fielded there by Bob Gordon, and he stowed under at the 32-yard line. Wilder was the first man downfield, but Bob Gordon, one of the up men, took the punt of 43 yards and lost a yard on it, so the Redskins end up netting 44 on the punt. And Chuck Noll says, okay, guys, let's go.
He played a little bit last week. Chuck had given the entire second half here. He's made a couple of mental errors that cost him points.
Kimball Anders on for the first time tonight, number 36, and he takes the handoff. And he's going to lose yardage. What a play by Govea. He just beat his block and was 4 yards into the Steeler backfield and made the stop on the man who was the leading ground gainer in last week's win in New England. 61 yards, 9 carries, not here.
These plays last week went for about 7 or 8 yards up the field against the Patriots. Not the case today. Getting penetration and a misdirection running play will bring people down every time, and Anders goes down for a loss.
John Buttenberg playing one of the guard spots now, the free agent out of Akron, number 72. Carlton Hasselrig, number 77, in at right guard. Tom Ricketts at right tackle, 71. And your center is Brian Blankenship as Gordon goes in motion. On a delay, a couple of yards to the 30, maybe back to the 31-yard line. The ball carrier Richard Bell is getting quite a look-see tonight. He's carried the ball 4 or 5 times in the game. So the Steelers will have third down and long as Pat Swoops makes the stop.
Well, there's a lot of guys out there right now that Chuck Noll's got to make decisions on. People like Richard Bell and Kimball Anders and Buttenberg, people like that, who've got to play good football here in the third quarter to catch the eye of Chuck Noll and stay on his football team.
Gordon comes wide to the right. Chris Callaway at the top of your screen, and Randy White back to pass on 3rd and 13 over the middle. It's caught by Gordon in heavy traffic for the first down at the 46. In front of Alvoid Mays, the free agent from West Virginia. But Gordon knew exactly where the end of the sticks were. Very, very smart pattern run by Bob Gordon.
And a good delivery by Wright. A little in route, it's a turn in route. He gets inside the defender. The ball was there right before he makes the break. Wright delivers the football a little bit high, but right there, and Gordon comes down with the reception. You see right now, the good tight spiral by Wright. Up, put a little zip on the football, and gets it into Gordon.
1:55 to go, third quarter. Steelers down by 14 and trying to get back in the game again. Wright throwing it again. Looks, throws an out pattern. It is caught, I believe, after a 9-yard gain to Callaway, the rookie out of Michigan. So both youngsters on successive plays make good catches. Callaway getting 9 in front of Wayne Davis, the backup cornerback.
And Callaway did a good job of coming back to the football and picking up a low pass by Wright for about a 9-yard gain. He just went down near the grass and just took it off the grass and made the catch. So
Wright now starting to sustain a drive. Briggs is in. Mularkey out at tight end. Steelers with a 2nd down and 1. Gordon in motion. The pitch is to Bell. 1st down, 40, 35. Excellent running by Richard Bell as they sent Gordon in motion toward the center and then pitched it around him, and a good piece of running by Richard Bell.
And just a quick toss to the outside, to the weak side. And Bell just does a good job of picking his way, trying to find a hole inside. Seemed to be behind his blockers. Good job by John Reenstraat in front of him. Just gets a little bit of crease, and that's all a running back really needs. And then Bell's the guy who's got to pick his way through there and did a good job.
So the Steelers now chewing up hunks of yardage at the rate of 9 and 10 per play. Now Walton's got to like this offense a lot better from the 35-yard line. 1st down Steelers. Jerry O'Shea in motion. Little half roll to the right, throws it right through the hands of the intended receiver Gordon, although the coverage was there this time by Alvoid Mays. So it's incomplete. Stops the clock with 16 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter.
It seems like when Wright settles down, he does a good job, and when he sets up and delivering the football, got a lot of zip on the ball. That time Gordon was well covered. He's got to come off the initial receiver and go to the other open receivers. A lot of times you make big plays from different people. That time he didn't come off the receiver. 4 for 8 for 63 yards for Randy Wright.
And again, the Steeler offensive coordinator Joe Walton working the phones. Using the system that has been described as everything from confusing to impossible to learn. And again, Anders dropped in the backfield. The penetration by Leverens, the 11th round draft choice out of Minnesota, number 98, a linebacker. And the time will expire here in the 3rd quarter as the Steelers lose yardage. And we'll have now a 2nd down situation when we come back. We've played 3 quarters at RFK Stadium in Washington. The Steelers trail it 24-10. Sam Nover, Jack Ham at RFK Stadium. Hope you're enjoying our broadcast. I know you're not enjoying the score if you're a Steeler fan. See, you said 34-24. Steelers got outscored the Redskins 14-10 in this quarter.
Well, a lot of mental mistakes in the 3rd quarter. I think a lot to do with the offensive linemen. Different fronts out there, getting a lot of penetration by defensive linemen. A lot of guys getting thrown for a loss, and so they got to make those adjustments and correct those mental errors.
All right, let's see what they do. Randy Wright on 2nd down, dragged down way back at the 50-yard line. The Skins just kept right on coming through the porous offensive line on that particular play, and it was Kurt Govea, the linebacker, who was coming on the blitz, who made the tackle, and Wright never had a chance. That's the 3rd sack of the game for the Redskins, and I believe I said it was 2nd down. It was 3rd down and long, and now on 4th down, Straczynski is on the field and will have to punt it away again. So the Steelers having some difficulty. They moved the ball for a while and got it down into a position that you thought they might get some points out of it, but it was not to be. Cherry in single safety calls for the fair catch at the 15-yard line, and finally at about the 14 is where they'll spot the football. So through 3 quarters, the stats are a little bit closer than the score, but of course you have to take into consideration the fact that Washington scored a couple of defensive touchdowns to get that lead, Jeff.
A lot of big plays defensively, and the one play that Randy Wright would love to have back is the interception to Coleman, and that really cost him dearly, and after that it kind of self-destructed for about 4 or 5 plays.
Our next Steelers network broadcast will be next Saturday night as the Steelers take on the Dallas Cowboys of Jimmy Johnson, live from Irving, Texas. Our coverage begins with the pregame show at 8:30, the kickoff at 9 o'clock Eastern time. Hope you'll be there for that one. Humphreys, the quarterback, from his own 14-yard line. Single setback is Wilder. Just barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Gary Jones is the man who made the stop. Craig Vesey was also there, number 91, the 3rd round draft choice out of Houston, who just got into camp this week. Neil O'Donnell is dressed, the quarterback from Maryland, but he will not play.
And also David Johnson from the cornerback position came up, forced everything to the inside, so Alder Pursuit could come in from the inside and make the play.
Walter Stanley and Art Monk are the wide receivers here for the Redskins. Just underway in the 4th quarter from the I formation. They use that H-back, and St. Johnson is a blocking back, but Gerald Williams played off the block beautifully and made the stop on the ball carrier Wilder. You can't do it any better.
Another big play by Gerald Williams. You take on a blocker like that and get rid of him right at the line of scrimmage, work down the line of scrimmage, and also make the tackle on a play. That's just an outstanding play. He's made a lot of them in 2 preseason games on the passing plays, now on the running play well. Wilder has no place to go. That's just an outstanding play. And I'll tell you what, Chuck Noll will sit up and take notice after that play by Gerald Williams.
He's got to play, Jack, and I know you're a fan of Brian Hinkles, but this kid's got to play.
Well, the only thing that Gerald Williams has to do is got to be more consistent, no longer have any of the mental mistakes that go along with it in the football game, in the passing game. He's got a chance to play a lot of football for Pittsburgh.
3rd down and 10 from the 14. Aaron Jones back in the game, that defensive left end, number 97. Humphreys rolling to his left, throws the home run ball downfield, and it is incomplete. In 10, Richard Shelton had the coverage on Walter Stanley. He's claiming interference, that Shelton bumped him and held him going down the sideline, but there are no flags.
Okay, Richard Shelton did a good job of Humphreys rolling out outside the pocket, get extra time. He's had his looking back, his hands are up in the air, looking back to the football. An official is never going to call pass interference if a defender looks back to the football, and that's exactly what he did on the play.
Steelers should get good field position. Shelton is the deep man at his own 45. Mosienko, a high short punt. Fair catch around midfield. He juggled it and caught it. So Shelton with the fair catch, and the Steelers now, following a 36-yard punt by Mosienko, will take over at their own 49-yard line. Well, Hammer, you thinking about that Iron City beer, Iron Man of the game? You're starting to vacillate a little bit on Barry Foster there.
I am, and I'm kind of leaning towards on the defensive side, Gerald Williams. Gerald Williams made a number of good plays out last series, going down the line of scrimmage, taking on a blocker and making a play. So I'm kind of leaning that way, but with 12:43 left, the jury is still out.
Okay, from the 49, Randy Wright gives to Bell. Crosses into Redskin territory at the 49 after a gain of 2. Stopped there by Kurt Govea, who has come on here in the second half and really distinguished himself. That left side of the Steeler offensive line now, trying to move some people out, has Justin Strelzik, number 73, John Buddenberg, number 72, and the center is Brian Blankenship. And on the right side, you've got Carlton Hasselrig, the converted defensive lineman who spent last year in the developmental squad, and Tom Ricketts, a #1 draft choice of last year. So they got some youth and inexperience on the line. 2nd and 8. O'Shea in motion. Bell again. To the 45 and out of bounds on the far side of the field. Good run by Richard Bell, who just beat the defender to the corner. Wayne Davis ran him out, but Bell showing some speed to the outside. Picks up about 5 or 6 on the carry. It'll be 3rd down and short.
He did a good job of setting up his blockers. As you see the guards pulling out over here. Hasselrig coming out. And also Kimball Anders on a good block. But Bell did a good job of setting up his blockers and turning it to the outside and takes it to the outside for a good gain.
Our congratulations to the Buccos that beat the Reds 7-1 in the first game of the doubleheader. Second game is tied 2-2 in the 5th. So the Pirates looking to sweep the Western Division leading Reds at Cincinnati and keep a head up on the Mets. They just simply will not die, the Buccos. They're going to be there at the end. Here's Anders, too tall at the 40-yard line. Of course, in Pittsburgh, we invite you to stay tuned after John Fetko's 5th quarter locker room interviews to Channel 11 News. And Derek Gunn will have the highlights of those Bucco games for you. Invite you to join David Johnson and Peggy Finnegan in Pittsburgh on our flagship station, WPXI TV.
A lot of work for Dan Strelzik. 7 punts here so far in the football game. And, you know, he might get my vote before it's all over.
Another candidate. Marcus Cherry in single safety back at the 10-yard line, and Strelzik will hit this one his own 45. So the Steelers, Jack, could not take advantage of the good field position they were given.
And Randy Wright on that 3rd down play would love to have that one over, and he overthrew Anderson.
Strelzik with another high-hanging spiral. Steelers looking to cover it at the 1-yard line. Did he keep his feet in? I don't know. Yes, he did. Lorenzo Davis at the 1-yard line.
Well,
and you talk about coaches standing up and taking notice. George Stewart and Noel will notice that one.
We also have a penalty flag. Pittsburgh would have had him backed up inside the 1-yard line. All of a sudden, another penalty that absolutely killed Pittsburgh, especially here in the second half. But a good play downfield, a smart play by Davis, realizing his momentum carries him into the goal line. That ball is brought back to the 20-yard line if there had not been a penalty. Smart play on the kick coverage team.
6 penalties for 45 yards, and he is steaming right now, I can tell you. It's coming out of both nostrils.
Illegal formation foul. Offense. They did not have 7 men on the line of scrimmage. 4th down again.
And negates such a great punt by Strelzik. He laid it up there, gave his people time to get down inside the 10-yard and cover that kick. Now he's going to try to do it all over again.
11:14 to go here in the 4th quarter of a 24-10 Washington ball game at the moment. They lead it on the strength of 2 defensive touchdowns. He does it again. Strelzik hits the same kind of punt. This one takes a bounce upfield and is dead at the 7-yard line. And again, it was Lorenzo Davis. A punt of 43 yards, same one as last time. This one killed at about the 7-yard line. So there's a timeout, and the Redskins pinned up with their backs to their goal line. Welcome back to RFK Stadium. That young man has distinguished himself, hasn't he? A free agent out of the University of Indiana, cut by the Indianapolis Colts, cut by the Cleveland Browns. He comes to Steeler camp as ostensibly their #1 punter with no competition, and he has vindicated Chuck Noll early on. From the 7-yard line, the Redskins put the ball in play. First down in his movement in the line of scrimmage. Aaron Jones, 97.
False start, number 67.
Ray Brown, number
offense.
67.
Yep.
Came out about 2 counts early, and it is really getting sloppy. I thought the 3rd quarter was bad. The 4th quarter maybe even worse.
And again, don't forget, if you're among our Pittsburgh viewing audience at the conclusion of tonight's game, the 5th quarter with live interviews from the locker room. Get all the post-game comments directly following tonight's game. John Fetko will be there, as he was in Montreal, to talk to must talk to a dozen guys after that game. You had every perspective of the football game. So it's 1st and 13 now. The ball back at the 3. And Humphreys, the quarterback, gives off to Brian Mitchell, still carrying people. A good, strong run by the rookie out of southwestern Louisiana, finally brought down by A.J. Jenkins. But he got the ball back out to the 12 or 13-yard line.
Well, with all the running backs that Redskins have, Brian Mitchell's going to have to do a great job here in the 4th quarter, because they are absolutely loaded, and they are high-priced people with Wilder, Ernest Biner, and also Gerald Riggs. Mitchell's a most interesting young man, Jack. He was a quarterback in college and the only player in NCAA history to pass for over 5,000 yards and run for over 3,000. Scored 47 touchdowns, the most ever in NCAA history by a quarterback. Mitchell again. Almost got the first down. Those are 2 very nice runs. Stowe and Owens combined to make the stop, but he got him out of some trouble there and very close to the first down. Well, I say that's an opportunity when Straczynski puts you inside the 10-yard line. The defense got to come up 3 and out, make some big plays, and get the football back in excellent field position. With the running game, the Reds can push it out there and get a first down. I think one time in that last sequence, I called Straczynski Strelzik. I got a feeling both of them may make this club. We're going to have the announcers all year from the networks going to have fun with Straczynski and Strelzik. Well, Strelzik very quietly getting better and better. He's almost 285 pounds. Doesn't look that big, but he just makes plays out there. Got good body control. He does a good job of pass protection. And each week he's progressed and gotten better and better, and caught the eyes of all the coaches. So all of a sudden he is a factor in that offensive line. And Mitchell got the first down. And I'm sure all those offensive linemen realize Chuck Lanza, with his injury, may be out 12 to 13 weeks. Good candidate for the IR list. So he was a very versatile player. They're going to miss Chuck Lanza, but it's an opportunity for some of the young people to come in here and make this football team. So the Skins get a little bit of daylight now, operating from their own 18-yard line. Gerald Williams, Tyrone Stowe, Olszewski, and A.J. Jenkins, a linebacking core. Humphreys relieved Rippon early in the 4th quarter. Gives to Mitchell. Mitchell gets outside and dragged down from behind. Marlon Williams, number 69, who had 2 sacks in the win over New England, along with Richard Shelton, but not before he got some more yardage. And this is a very impressive football player, Brian Mitchell. A lot of guys out there on defense right now. They've got to make some plays for the Steelers. Their defense right now with people out there like Aaron Jones is out there right now. The hamstring holds up. He's got to start making some plays as well. Boy, they have shown no mercy to him, have they? One day in camp, and he's out in the field and playing a lot. All of a sudden he got healthy. 2nd down and 6. Humphreys has the ball tipped up in the air and almost intercepted. Jones went for the ball. For a moment, Aaron's eyes were as big as saucers. It looked like it was going to be right in his lap. Stephen Hobbs, number 20, was out there on the flank looking to... No, it was Mitchell, number 30. I beg your pardon.
looking to catch the ball, but Jones for a moment thought he had 6.
Well, Humphries initially looked like he was going to try to go deep, a little play action fake. Then he gets pressure right up the middle from the backside. Can't tell who that was.
Jenkins, A.J.
Yeah, A.J. Jenkins just beats his man on a speed rush to the outside, gets his right hand right on the football. Well, that could have been an injury to Humphries' right arm when he delivered the ball. Then it's up in the air, and that's where Aaron Jones tried to play like basketball, tip the ball, try to get up in the air and make the interception, but it went for an incomplete pass.
And when you're considering players of the game, how about Mr. Jenkins, who made the interception that gave the Steelers their only touchdown, led to the only touchdown of the night?
He just played well.
First charge, timeout.
Gerald Williams
Washington.
has played well defensively.
This is a 40-second timeout. 40 seconds.
So we got a timeout on the field here. Some confusion with 9:06 to go. The Redskins still lead it by 2 touchdowns.
This is the book that got Bubba cooked. This is the man who read an ad that ran in the book that got Bubba cooked. This is the store that sold to the man who read an ad that ran in the book that got Bubba cooked. This is the lake next to the store with an ad in the book that got Bubba cooked. And this is Bubba. The genuine Bella, Pennsylvania Yellow Pages. No other book can catch it. A Bell Atlantic Company.
Shop the appliance store, the Tri-State's name brand headquarters, for the best selection and the best prices on Panasonic camcorders, including the new Panasonic Palm Quarters, compact VHS, lightweight, you can hold it in one hand, power zoom, full range digital autofocus, or choose a Panasonic full-size switch hitter for left or right hand users. And Steeler fans register to win exciting prizes in the Panasonic Black and Gold Club. No purchase necessary, only at the appliance store. The best for less.
This is WPXI, your 24-hour news source.
Good evening, I'm David Johnson. She was the daughter of a Southern preacher, a delegate to the United Nations, and a one-of-a-kind entertainer. Tonight, the world is mourning the loss of Pearl Bailey, who died at a Philadelphia hospital today at the age of 72. 13 carloads of American, Canadian, and other foreigners escaped from Kuwait into Saudi Arabia today. Among them, a part-time Associated Press reporter who says they got out by dressing in Arab-style clothing and by speaking Arabic. Join us for the night beat after the game and the 5th quarter.
We're back live at RFK Stadium, and we're sorry, but they ran a couple of plays while you were away, and it's been all Brian Mitchell. On 3rd down and 5, he caught a little swing pass for the 1st down up to about the 32-yard line. And on the carry that you just saw the conclusion of, Mitchell ran the ball hard up the middle, gaining about 9. And so Mitchell has made an auspicious performance here for the Washington Redskins, and this is going to be a hero on this club for some years to come, perhaps.
Well, even though there's a logjam at running back, some guys do not make the football team. A lot of scouts are here right now, and when they got a waiver wire, those guys will make some other teams.
2nd down and 1. I bet you right now, Jack, he doesn't get cut.
Well, I'll tell you, the people they await are Kelvin Bryant, Ernest Biner, Gerald Riggs, James Wilder. A lot of good running backs over there. And a lot of the guys they have are used situation. Kelvin Bryant, the guy who used on 3rd down. Biner can play both, run the football and catch the ball. And then Riggs is their power runner. So a lot of guys are situation players. So if Mitchell does a good job on special team, you know, he may have an opportunity to make this club.
1st down for the Redskins on the carry, so they're at their own 43-yard line now, and the clock continues to move. We're under 7:20 to go in the 4th quarter, and the Steelers need to stop Washington, get the football back, and score twice to tie. Overtime? Are we rooting for overtime or not? I don't know.
You get paid more for overtime?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. And again, Humphries doesn't like what he sees, or his offense is not set to his satisfaction, and he has to call a timeout. They've spent 2 of them here in the 4th quarter. 7:04 to go. There's a timeout on the field.
The street goes up, the street goes down. The Infiniti M30 luxury sports coupe reads the road like it wrote the book.
So the Redskins now spent a couple of timeouts with some confusion. Their quarterback, Stan Humphries, only in his 2nd year out of Northeast Louisiana. He's back out there now with the play on 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line of the Redskins. Steelers need to make something happen on defense. Humphries flips it out in the right flat. It's incomplete. David Johnson with the coverage, or Richard Shelton it was, had the coverage on Stephen Hobbs, who caught a touchdown pass against Atlanta last week. With that one, Humphries threw out of bounds, so it's 2nd down and 10. The clock stops.
Also good pressure on the defensive lineman, A.J. Jenkins from the backside, putting pressure on Humphries right when he delivered the football, trying to get a comeback pattern to the outside. Jenkins was right in his face.
Redskins still going with a lot of their starters in that offensive line. McKenzie, 63, Bostic the center. Schlereth, number 69, and Big Ed Simmons. They haven't made too many changes. 2nd and 10. Complete to the big H-back. Ball is fumbled, and Osafsky has it. I just said the Steelers got to make something happen defensively. The pass complete to Jimmy Johnson. He fumbles the ball, and Osafsky, who may have stripped him of the football, recovered the ball. Jerry Osafsky with a great play.
Jerry Osafsky, all he does is make plays. He's a guy who's not the strongest linebacker or the quickest, just makes plays. A very quick in route. He gets hit by Jones at the time, also gets stripped. Looked like also stripped by Tyrone Stowe, and then Osafsky comes from the inside and comes up with a fumble recovery. Trying to get extra yards right here as he goes down. Looks like it almost just came out of his hand, not even get hit. And Osafsky just right there makes the fumble recovery.
So Randy Wright's got to turn these into points. 6:52 to go from the 47-yard line. Now it's Rick Strom on the field. Down to Stone, and he overthrew him. Rick Strom's first appearance in the football game, and he had a streaking Dwight Stone, and he overthrew him down in the neighborhood of the 10-yard line.
Well, Rick Strom has a strong arm. He put a tight spiral right down the middle. And I'll tell you, just overthrew by about 4 or 5 yards at 2 different opportunities today, 2 or 3, long deep patterns downfield. Brister missed the receiver, Derek Hill, early in the first half, and now Strom deep.
47-yard line. Tim Terrell now, number 23, is in the backfield. He's joined there by Richard Bell. It is 2nd down and 10. The Steelers have the ball at their own 47. Strom, short drop, throws it downfield. It's incomplete. Little surprised to see Strom in there, Jeff.
Well, he was not supposed to play. They thought Wright would play the entire second half. I'm not sure if Chuck saw enough of Randy Wright. He wanted to give Strom an opportunity here with 6:42 left to go in the game. But he's in there right now, and I'll tell you, that ball was delivered on the line to the outside. Good coverage by the Redskins secondary. That went for an incomplete pass.
So pretty big play for Rick Strom, and the Steelers now trying to sustain the drive. The clock becomes a factor with 6:42 to go. He's got Stoney split wide to the right and Chris Callaway to the left. Rodney Carter is the slot to the left. And Terrell is the lone setback behind Rick Strom. Plenty of time. I don't know who the receiver was. Was he intending that pass for Terrell short or Stone long? There's a flag down nonetheless, but the ball fell between the 2 of them.
Boy, a lot of time. The offensive lineman.
Number 60, offense, penalty decline, 4th down.
He had a call for a holding on Brian Blankenship. That's why there was good pass protection for Strom on that play, but delivered a low ball to the outside.
So Straczynski on for the umpteenth time in the game now. And all of a sudden, Jack has become our leading candidate for the player of the game.
Does not bode well for your offense when the punter is your leading candidate.
9th punt by Dan Straczynski, and this is another dandy. High, Cherry waits for the fair catch and makes it at the 12-yard line. He just eliminates the return with that great hang time. We're talking in excess of 4 seconds on most of these punts.
And he's also very consistent. None of the balls have gone off the side of his foot on any of his punts. He had a tough situation handling the one punt. That one for 43 yards and no return, and that was his 9th punt.
Yep. 38.4 tonight, which is 4 yards better than he averaged against New England. He gets that average up to 39 or 40. Oh, fumble! Loose football. Steelers have it. Jenkins, touchdown! A.J. Jenkins.
Well, the guy who helps make this play is Jerry Osafsky again. Jerry Osafsky came from the inside, made the tackle. It's also the injured player. It's your patented play. Mitchell going to the outside, and from the inside, here comes Osafsky. Gets his right hand in there. Also, good gang tackling by Gary Jones from the outside, and they strip the football. They don't even realize it's a fumble on that play. And all of a sudden, here comes A.J. Jenkins, makes another big play, gets it on the 10-yard line. Wasn't exactly great running, but he gets into the end zone finally.
Mo Elawanabe, their 3rd-round draft choice, the big offensive lineman from BYU, waved at Jenkins and then fell down. And there is an injured player on the field. We believe it's Jimmy Johnson, the back. Good catch by Straczynski to get it down. So with 6:07 to go, how do you do? 24-17, the Steelers a touchdown and a conversion away from tying this football game and getting us into overtime. Marcus Cherry on the near side, Reggie Dupart on the far side, awaiting this kick by Anderson. That's Dupart at the 2 to the 15 to 20. Both hands on the football as he squirms over the 30-yard line to about the 32 and stopped there by Bob Gordon, who has played quite well tonight as a special teams player. And here comes A.J. again, number 99. He's done it all tonight.
And I think Chuck Noll likes this situation. 5:55 left to go in the game. His defense has got to stop the Redskins right now, get the ball back, because you're going to have situations like this during the regular season where you got to make big plays and stop an offense when you need to get the ball back.
Stan Humphrey still at quarterback for the Redskins, and his lone setback is, I believe, Brian Mitchell. A quick out over the head of the intended receiver, and that gets receivers hurt. Intended there for Joe Howard, and Humphrey stretched him as high as he can go, and he took a helmet in the ribs.
Humphreys almost put Howard on the injury reserve list in a hurry. That quick out like that, when you're jumping up for a football, you are open target, and he gets drilled right at the 40-yard line.
Clock stop, 5:35 to go in the fourth quarter. Hobbs comes wide to the right. Humphreys on a delay to Mitchell. Big hole, 35, 38, 39. It closed quickly. Billy Owens, the free safety, made the stop, but Mitchell got a quick 7, maybe 8 yards to bring around third down and short for the Redskins, who really need to convert here and keep this drive alive.
Well, you take chances sometimes. Osowski came on a blitz and really took himself right out of the play. That's exactly where Mitchell was coming off tackle, vacated the area by Osowski, and that's a big play, and sometimes in that situation, a score.
6 carries, 42 yards for Mitchell, far and away the best ground gainer for the Redskins in this game. 3rd and 2. You need to get to shy of the 42-yard line. Humphreys with time. Throws it down to a wide open Howard. He caught the ball at the 28-yard line. That'll be a first down and a well-thrown pass in front of the cornerback, David Johnson.
A little separation when Howard ran to the outside. Also, a lot of time to throw the football for Humphreys. And those are plays you got to make in a situation like this. You got to make that play on third down to get the football back. All of a sudden, that play could end up icing the game for the Redskins. See the catch at the end here. Johnson, the separation between he and Joe Howard as they ran that little fade pattern to the outside.
34 yards and a very big play for Humphreys. Joe Gibbs is going to like that a lot from the 27-yard line. 4:10 to go on a moving clock. 24-17 Redskins. Trying to beat the Steelers 4 times for the 4th time in the last 5 years. And Mitchell for 5, but there's a flag in the pile. Osowski may have been held there by Ella Wannabe, number 78, the rookie out of BYU. Let's see.
Holding, number 78, offense, first down.
Good call. Good call, Sam.
So it nullifies the gain by Mitchell, who's just picking up 5 and 6 at every crack check.
You can see his left hand out on Osowski's shirt. You cannot even see the 2 on Osowski's shirt trying to get to the football. He's made a lot of big plays, and now they're trying to hold him a little bit in there, and the referee right there caught him in a 10-yard penalty.
Mace Goldsby, 76 on the defensive front for the Steelers. I think they finally gave Aaron Jones a rest. Do you think he's sucking wind out there or what? It is 1st and 20 now. Mitchell cuts it back for about 3 or 4, trying to run over people. Gary Jones put his helmet down and met him head on as he got inside the 35-yard line. At the worst here, the Redskins would like to get back into range for Low Miller and try to ice the football game with 3:45 to go on a turning clock.
And the other side of the coin, the Steelers know they've got to stop him right here. Don't give him any more yardage and force either maybe a long field goal situation or a punt and get the ball back. That holding penalty may get Pittsburgh football back before it's all said and done here.
2nd down and 16 at the Steelers' 33-yard line. The coaching staff will learn some valuable lessons in this series on these young Steeler defenders. Humphreys on a roll right. He can do what he wants. Throws it. Caught. Hobbs in the seam of the zone in front of Richard Shelton. That'll get him down to the 20-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and short now for the Redskins, about 3, I think, to convert.
And this is what a quarterback with a little bit of mobility can do. He gets outside the pocket. He has all time. You see the defenders down here waiting and waiting. All of a sudden, he just finds the open area, Hobbs in the middle of the field, and it's zone defense because Humphreys right here buys some time, gets a lot of time here to throw the football. He could have run for the first down if he wanted to on that play. Decided to throw the football down for the first down.
Lohmiller, if they go to him for a field goal attempt, is 3 for 3 in the preseason, 1 for 1 tonight. 3rd and 3 for Humphreys. Needs some pressure. Throws it, and it's foul. Somebody get a hand on that? In and out of the hands of Joe Howard, and David Johnson may have gotten a hand on the football. I think he made a good play.
He came underneath the receiver, either got his hand on the ball or just got his hand in there and caused a vision problem for the receiver on the out pattern.
He just distracted him if he didn't touch the football. Whatever he did, he caused that pass to be incomplete, and that's important. So Lohmiller now will attempt a field goal of 37 yards. Mozienko will hold. This could ice it. The kick by Lohmiller is up, and it is good. And Chip Lohmiller is 4 for 4 in the preseason, 2 for 2 tonight. And the Skins once again lead it by 10. 4th quarter, and Richard Bell is back awaiting the kick by Lohmiller at his own goal line.
And you're right about Chuck Noll seeing a lot of things out here right now to tell whether these guys are going to make the football team or not on that last series.
Bell 2 yards deep in the end zone. Going to bring it out. 15 to the 20 in the outside. And out of bounds. Good run by Bell. He not only got it out to the 30-yard line, but he got the ball out of bounds to stop the clock with 2:15 to go. You know, you see some things that are discouraging. Then you see something like that, Jack. It's just a great play by even a guy who's had 8 or 9 years in the league. Just real heads-up run back.
Well, Bell just came to the inside, drew all the kickoff coverage team to the middle of the field, and at the last second broke it to the outside. I mean, Lohmiller put that ball 2 yards deep in the end zone. I'm not sure some of his people thought that Bell may just sit on the football in the end zone and take the touchback.
They say he stepped out of the 28, so that's where the Steelers will start this drive. And they got to get downfield in a hurry. Rick Strom has a pass batted down at the line of scrimmage. Somebody got a big paw up there and batted it down. Might have been Ramil Andrews, the free agent out of the University of Tennessee at Martin, number 97. Boy, they're playing with some 3rd and 4th stringers right now.
Well, if you can't get to the quarterback, one thing you've got to do is get your hands up in the air. And Andrews got his hands up in the air right across the line of scrimmage, in the line of flight to the football, just knocked it down.
Steelers letting John Buddenberg get some experience at center with Lanza gone now. They'd like to go 3 deep at that position. Buddenberg getting a chance to snap. Free agent out of Akron on 2nd and 10. Strom deep for Stone. The coverage is there, and the ball is overthrown. Downfield was Alvoid Mays, the West Virginia product, and he was Stone to the right and Callaway at the bottom of your screen to the left. Strom sets in the pocket, avoids the rush. He's going to run for it. He gets the first down to the 45 and down at the 48-yard line, and the clock will stop at 1:54 for the 2-minute warning, and so Strom scrambles for the first down. We got 1:54 left here in the 4th quarter. The Steelers trying to get at least one more score back on the board. They trail by 10. Well, I think they'll have some interesting things to say after the game, and our Pittsburgh viewers will get a chance to listen. At the conclusion of tonight's game, don't forget the 5th quarter. John Fetko in the Steeler locker room with live interviews. Get all the post-game comments directly following tonight's game. We just took our vote on the Iron City man of the game, and we'll hold you in suspense for a moment. But let it be noted that Ham and I voted opposites again, and the truck had to break the tie, but this time in my favor. Strom rolling out. Callaway steps out of bounds at the 45. Little out pattern with 1:50. That didn't take very long. Wayne Davis with the coverage. From the 44, Strom again. Over the middle, batted down. He had O'Shea open, and he dumped it right into a lineman's lap. 1:45 to go in the 4th quarter. Steelers now with a 3rd down and 2. They give it to Tim Terrell. He busted with a first down inside the 40, but that'll take precious seconds off the clock. They're going to use the timeout. No, they're not.
They got to hurry up, get right to the line of scrimmage.
Strom's in the speed-up offense, and the young man in the booth next to us wants your autograph, Jack. From the 39-yard line, Strom Rolls right. Throws this one to Billy Griggs. He's wide open at the 30. Gets to the 20 and out of bounds. So the Plan B free agent from the New York Jets, run out by Alvoid Mays. And the Steelers with a first down, and they stop the clock again inside the 20-yard line. Strom to Callaway. Touchdown! He juggled the ball and caught it going down. They tried to get it to him 3 times and finally succeeded.
Well, this is a great adjustment on the ball by Callaway. I'm not even sure if that ball might have been tipped at the line of scrimmage a little bit. He's running a quick slant to the inside. You see him plant and come right down inside. The ball was way behind him. He adjusts on the football, spins around, knocks it up in the air, and good concentration. Comes down on 4th down to make that catch and give the Steelers a chance. You see it again right now. Quick slant pattern. Well, it almost gets tipped. He just lays it up in the air, makes the catch, and a good adjustment.
Anderson's extra point is up and good. Strom just looked at his intended receiver all the way, but that did not deter him from his appointed task. The Steelers, of course, now within 3, and the onside kick obviously coming up. And now time to announce our Iron City Beer Iron Man player of the game. And the winner is number 99 from the defensive unit, A.J. Jenkins. He has a fumble return for a touchdown. He has an interception that led to the Steelers' first touchdown. Jack, this was a big play here. Got him on the board.
This was where the Redskins had a chance to really open up a big lead in the first.